Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is proudly brought to you by More Beer at www.morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank. Mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on it.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there,
And you're going to drink good beer.
yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Oh, uh-oh.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hi. You're really good at speaking.
Yeah. At a party this weekend.
That's the rumor.
Somebody had the stupid idea of taking our IPA homebrew contest winner and throwing him a big party weekend.
Who was that?
And so we partied.
Good.
Took a bus out to Russian River. They took good care of us.
It was more of a shuttle.
It was a limo.
It's a limo.
Of sorts.
I'm pretty sure Avis sold that bus to that guy.
It was a little bit ghetto, which I knew going into it. And then I was real drunk coming back, and he wanted his full tip, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give you your full tip, but we have to talk about a few things. If you want my business again, and I started lecturing him on the stuff that he did wrong.
What did he do wrong?
Well, his stereo barely worked. It had a short in it.
Oh, yeah.
Half the speakers weren't working.
Half the speakers weren't working.
That's a no-no.
He took a wrong turn, and we ended up in downtown Richmond at midnight. That's not a place you want to be.
No.
At noon. Never mind midnight.
Right.
What else did he do? He wouldn't answer my calls. Like, we're at Russian River, and it's time to go. And he's like, yeah, just call me. And, I'm calling. I'm calling 5 times, nothing. I would go outside, and he's parked in the back, luckily. And he's just sitting there, and I'm like, hey, I'm calling you. Oh, yeah, look at that. 5 missed calls.
Well, he wasn't listening to his stereo. What was he doing?
I don't know what he was doing.
Oh, yeah. I shouldn't have given that guy a cookie.
But, Tasty did him in. And so, when I'm drunk, I'm like, we should talk this stuff out.
You're Mr. Tough Guy.
So I tell him all the things that he did wrong.
Yeah, you get your pound of flesh.
Yeah. And, anyway.
I like how he demanded his full tip.
Well, yeah, because he's like, it was, I was intending to get, I was a little short on cash. I knew I had to go inside and get like another $20. So my intent was to give him his full tip, but I was like, here it is right now, and just give me a second. He's like, yeah, this isn't the full 20%.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, well, for one, I know, and two, Really? It's now like a thing? Like it has to be 20%? Or are you going to earn your 20%?
Was it written into the contract that he gets 20%?
There's no contract with Earl. with Earl from Emeryville, there's no contract. You just call him and he's like, yeah, I'll be there.
I believe it's pronounced Earl. Not Earl. Earl.
So you just like spit in your hand and handshake? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
One syllable.
It's a done deal.
Yeah.
People have gotten way too brazen with this tip thing. Like they're so empowered, these servers and drivers and stuff, because it's not a tip really anymore. It's like mandatory, you know.
I agree with you.
And now they're like, "Are you kidding me? This isn't the full 20%."
I agree with you. And if it's not in the contract, which with some limo companies it is, it'll say you tip your driver. It's this plus 20%, and they just charge your card for it right then and there. But this is not one of them, And I agree with you. And servers at restaurants and bars are getting a little out of hand, too, with the demanding of the 18% now.
And their whole thing is like, well, I only get $2 an hour from my employer. I live on tips. And it's like, isn't
then
that between...
don't be a server.
Right. But that's between you and your employer.
Yeah. Right.
Or get
Change
a
jobs.
different gig. Yeah.
Well, and I'm all for tipping, but I'm for earning your tips.
Yes, exactly.
I wasn't too happy with Earl.
Well, he earned it by demanding you pay him.
And I'm so stupid because I'm like... I feel better for the fact, I'm like, all right, I'll give you your 20%, but you have to listen to me bitch first.
Exactly.
And then it's okay.
Yeah.
It's like a tax.
Like it doesn't even make my life any better. Like he didn't fix the things for me. He just had to listen to me.
Did you feel better for having, lectured him?
Not really. I was like, I'm pretty sure he was just nodding and smiling. Like he already had his money in his hand. He's
Yeah,
like,
he doesn't give a shit.
Get the fuck out of my bus. I got to go, kid.
Yeah, who cares what you say?
Well, anyway, we had a great time. We went out to Russian River and Lagunitas, and we took our IPA homebrew competition champion, Matt, and his lovely wife, Ashley. We took them out, and really they were just an excuse for us to get drunk, is what happened. And
Do you need those yet?
we sometimes, Well, I guess to do it in a big group, And both Russian River and Lagunitas took great care of us. Jeremy Marshall, the head brewer over there at Lagunitas, gave us a tour of the place. At one point, there was a baby running the brew house for him. One of our friends brought their kid, and we just sat the kid down at the computer, and he started just hitting buttons. And,
That's good. He probably made a good beer.
They were like, what?
Well, did you see that there was a problem in the brewery not long after that?
I did see that. Do you think it was the baby's fault?
Well, he said let him hit some keys. So I don't know. He must have pressed the one that said, what was it? That thing was like...
Dump the grain on the floor?
It was like a grant for the grain dump or something like that.
Right.
Like it had like an auger on the bottom to take the grains away. And I guess it wasn't grain taking it away, and they were graining out, I guess. So
right.
It was overflowing out the top.
And so it was making this big mess. It was a problem.
Yeah, it was a problem.
Luckily, Nicole was with us, Nicole Ernie.
Yeah, she's
the one who saw it. She's like, Jeremy, I don't think that's supposed to be happening. And he was pretty happy because he's like, shit, you're right.
Yeah.
Just for the record, this was not Abigail.
Right. It was a different baby.
Well, he said our friend's baby, so I assumed it wasn't yours.
Jeremy did call me this morning, though. He was upset that he didn't think to make our listener clean up the grain mess.
No.
He's like, we should have had the kid cleaning up the mess.
He is the lowest ranking person on the
right.
deal there.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
So he was upset with himself for not thinking of it at the time. But we had a good time. It was fun hanging out. We'll talk to Matt a little bit later on the show and find out about his brewing of the IPA and his weekend. We'll see if his BN weekend was up to par, up to snuff. I think he got to brew with Heretic on Friday. And what kind of beer did you brew, Matt? Russian Imperial Stout. So you got to brew. Did you go take photos of that, JP?
I sure did.
Great.
Well, yes, I did, Justin.
Maybe we can get those up on our live stream page during tonight's program.
We can't do it tonight, but I can do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Yes.
You can watch the show and listen to the show through our live stream. Just go to live stream and search Brewing Network, I guess. I don't know. There's a big, long link. Or go to our Facebook page. You can click on it right there. A couple other announcements. So I want to thank our sponsor tonight and every night, More Beer. Been with us for a long time. And I was over at More Beer the other day. I saw them testing a new filter. Tasty, have you seen that? They're testing a new beer filter. I think.
Yeah,
they might
I saw that.
Putting on the market.
I didn't get a chance
soon.
to talk to them about that, but
it's pretty. It's all stainless steel and nice. I don't know when they're releasing it, but they were testing it. The beer was coming out pretty clean that I saw.
Nice.
They were also testing a Pale 31 kit, an extract version of our Pale 31 recipe that we got from Matt from the DVD.
Nice.
Of course, the DVD just has an all-grain recipe, and they're going to sell that, but they wanted to do an extract one, too, so they're doing some experimenting. But thanks to our sponsor over at More Beer. Go to morebeer.com and check them out. Tonight's program, we've got Block 15 Restaurant and Brewery from Corvallis, Oregon on the show. A lot of listener requests for them, yeah, Moscow?
Oh, yeah. I'd say probably 10 over the years.
Okay.
A lot.
And we've got some of their beer?
Yeah, 3. A couple corked and caged and some barrel-aged stuff. It's going to be good.
I think I need a beer to get over this hangover.
To get over the beer.
I haven't drank one yet today.
Why don't you chug some of this Moonlight Mead in front of us?
I was chugging a little bit of it before the show, thinking that I could. It's kind of like mainlining, because it's stronger.
Oh, yeah.
How strong is this one that we're tasting today?
This one is 13.3%.
Yeah, that'll do the trick.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just finish the bottle. See how that goes. All right, a few announcements for you. Creek Monkey, our local tap house that we went to today for our little pregame. Although I didn't have a beer there, I just had a sandwich. Like a pussy.
Wow, it must have been a big night last night.
I had a 7-Up and a sandwich over at Creek Monkey. They're having 218 Pint Night this week on the 13th. Go check them out. Creek Monkey right here in beautiful downtown Martinez. It's a lovely place. I had friends in town. It's my friend from France, and she just got married in Nashville.
Yes.
But they were here in town. You know where they went for a drink the other day?
Where?
Whiskey Lane.
Oh, no.
The biker bar down the road.
Where you have to have a lift kit on your truck to park in the parking lot?
Funny you mention it. They parked right out front with their rental car, which was a little red Fiat, like that new Fiat. And it was sandwiched in between two 4x4s, But apparently the bikers loved Deepak and Delphine.
Sure,
they were like, "Oh, come on in, guys, have some assorted popcorn." And they sat there, and I had to pick them up. They got drunk at Whiskey Lane.
I like how they were accepted into the public place.
Well, and they left their car there for 2 days.
Yeah,
and they come pick it up today, and the guy's like. Their bartender comes out. He's like, "Hey, we were worried about you guys. Are you okay? It must have been some bender, huh? Your car's been here for 2 days. Don't worry, we looked out for it. We were watching it for you."
Cool.
I was like, man,
that is awesome. But that sucks to pay for a rental car for 2 days and you're not using it.
Yeah. Whiskey Lane. I was like, you guys got bigger balls than me. Outside. I'm not walking into Whiskey Lane.
Hell no. You're not walking out of it either.
That's right. You can listen to our brand new show, Dr. Homebrew. It's it's on iTunes. It's also on the On Tap page on our homepage right now. You can go and look at all the episodes there, a little description of each one, just by going to brewingnetwork.com/OnTap or search Dr. Homebrew in iTunes. You can download the shows. You can shop on Amazon like you always do, but help out the Brewing Network by clicking the Amazon link right there on our homepage. You can listen to this on the go with our mobile app. Just search BN Mobile in iTunes or the Android Marketplace. You watch all this on live stream. We really need to figure out the link to the live stream. It's so long.
New.livestream.com/The Brewing Network.
There we go. All right, thank you. I'm just going to have you do it every week.
Life's hard today. That's what you sound like.
It was very hard today.
This is kind of like we haven't had a show like this in like 4 years, I think.
What?
Just like with you, just like, I don't even care about anything. It's like you just woke up at 4:30.
You want to do the
Justin? It's time for the show.
Oh,
Justin.
Oh, is that you, Arnie? It's like a nightmare that I relive. You want to do the interviews tonight, JP? I think you're up for it.
No, I don't
think you
want
can
to.
Do it.
I don't think I'm not in the right frame of mind. I have to go in my isolation chamber for 4 hours and just kind of get clear and meta, and I don't feel like it.
You're saying that you didn't masturbate this morning, so you
I haven't masturbated this morning.
Yeah. All right. Well, just go take 5, and when you come back,
Scott, you want to help me out?
It's all you.
The doctor said I can't lift heavy things, so if you want to...
First of all, that's a stupid joke. I'm just going to be angry at your jokes today.
I think you should.
You know what? That's just stupid.
That doesn't even make sense.
All right. Get all these updates and more over on Twitter and
Facebook. Have you seen the Vines that we're doing? We're on Vine right now. We have Vibes or...
I don't even know what it is.
Veners. Or
what does it mean that we do, that we're on that?
It's just like a Twitter app where you can shoot little tiny snippets of video. And
it sounds stupid.
It is pretty dumb.
And what happens in these videos?
People do things.
How long are the videos?
6 seconds.
What can you show in 6 seconds?
A wiener.
The thing. I did a nice little video of how the grain dump works at Heretic Brewing.
Is anybody watching these things?
Yeah, sure. I think people watch them.
Who?
I don't know. People with faces
that don't have anything else to do.
It's 6 seconds. What are you going to do? People watch 10-minute, comedy clips on YouTube.
But that's my point. Like, what's the point? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's just hip. It's the new thing, man.
It is?
Yeah, it's the skinny jeans of the Twitter world.
Great.
Yeah.
I think Moscow should start wearing skinny jeans.
I think you should start wearing jeans.
Period.
Yeah.
Should start wearing pants.
Yeah.
You could trade pants during the break.
You think I would look good as a hipster?
No.
No way.
I don't think so at all. That doesn't mean I don't want you to do it.
Well, I don't even think hipsters look good as hipsters. So you looking good is not the point to do it.
Our listener winner's a hipster, I think.
I think hipsters are handsome.
He doesn't look like a hipster.
He's been wearing skinny jeans all weekend. I keep talking to him about it.
Maybe
like,
he's
hey.
just like thin, like he's in shape.
Oh, you think that's what
I think it's just.
I'm
yeah.
just used to being around fat people. I'm like, wow, what's with the skinny jeans? What are you talking about? I'm my ideal weight.
Yeah, it's just. I've had these pants since high school. What do you want? I'm frugal.
Didn't know. All right. Do we have a Twitter game today?
Yes.
Twitter game is brought to you today by our good friends over at HopTech Homebrew Supply down in sunny Dublin, California. Go to hoptech.com and check them out. What do we got?
Well, I don't know if you knew this, and Tasty, I don't want to blow this announcement or anything, so I apologize. But Tasty has just won the lottery.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that. And so he's going to buy an island, and he wants help with a name. What's the name of Tasty's Island that he's going to purchase?
Tasty's Island.
Yes.
Name Tasty's Island.
Yes.
What goes on Tasty's Island?
That could be within the name as well.
The name may indicate what goes on.
Right. I bet there's a lot of side boob grabbing that goes on in Tasty's Island.
Side boob island.
I don't want to be known for that.
Well,
anymore?
But I am good at it.
And you should probably stop doing it if you don't want to be known for it.
If it's Tasty's Island, wouldn't it just be full boob grab? I mean, why go for the side?
Well, yeah, there's a whole different set of laws.
Yeah,
my
truth
island.
goes out the window on Planet Tasty.
Yeah, hey,
perversion is the theme.
I'm going to take 10 women and go camping on Rape Cove. It'll be great.
Oh, dear.
We should segment out the island. Like there's like Fantasy Island. There are different spots on Fantasy Island where you can go. Like the
features.
well. Yeah, like the feature. Like what's the well? What would be the Tasty's wishing well be called?
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway.
All right, I have to get to our sponsor here in just a moment, our good friend. But first, do we have an Amazon item of the week, Moscow?
Oh, yes.
I asked you to bring that back.
Yeah. I got one for you this week. It's the Love Glove grooming mitt for cats. The reason I'm pretty sure, I don't know, was it you, JP?
Yes,
Did you order
this
through our
sounds like
Amazon
JP.
link?
All I know is I give my cats love.
I included it because whoever ordered it ordered 5 of them. So we have a crazy cat person listening to the show.
Why do you need 5 cat love gloves?
You got 5 cats.
Christmas is coming early, dude.
Wow. 5 of them.
There you go, 5.
Well, I'm glad we brought back the Amazon item of the week. Aren't you, Michael? Aren't you glad we brought it back?
Yes, I am.
It was Michael who bought the 5 gloves, I think.
Can you order Moonlight Mead through Amazon? God, that'd be great.
That would be great. Can you work on that for us, Michael?
Yeah, get right on it.
Yeah, get right on that. Michael Fairbrother from Moonlight Meadery is with us on the program today. And JP, what are we tasting today?
We are tasting the Wicked, which is a 13.3% honey wine with natural ginger and vanilla spices added.
Interesting. Michael, I need this right now. My hangover it's vicious.
Yeah, so what you're going to experience on this one is it's going to start off with the ginger spices, and then it's going to fade into the Madagascar bourbon, and then it's going to go back to honey, and then start all over again. So it's got some sweetness to it. You guys might think it's a little sweet, but orange blossom honey really kind of showcases the spices quite nice in the method ones.
You know, I don't consider this one sweet like I have some of the other ones, and I wonder if that's the spiciness of the ginger cutting through it for me.
Oh, it might be. Because I do think it's I do think it's sweet. It is on the sweet side, but that ginger does cut it out a lot.
Yeah. The ginger's unique, Michael, because I first just get that kind of standard, that ginger flavor that you'd expect, but then I don't think that pepper is the right word, but there's some kind of spiciness that starts to come through.
Yeah, that's the heat from the ginger, and we really try to showcase not overdoing it, just trying to really let the mind work on what the spices are. And we actually created this one night by accident. We were mixing a couple meads in the meadery, me and my cellar master, and we looked at each other and said, "Oh my God, that's wicked!" And I said, "It's good, and we're going to bottle it, and we're going to make this."
And we're going to call it Wicked.
Good.
Wicked good. Nice.
I have a question, Michael. Do you recommend people letting these meads open up like a wine?
They don't have the volatile oils that you might get in like a grape wine, so you're not getting the same kind of exposure, but they can, depending on how strong they are, it doesn't hurt to let them breathe just a little bit.
Like this one, I noticed it changed a lot in the 5 minutes it's been in my glass. the ginger is coming out a little bit, and I get more of the vanilla bean.
Oh yeah,
coming out.
And did you say bourbon in this also, Michael?
No, that's the name of the island. So Madagascar bourbon off the coast.
Got it.
What do you do to keep the ginger from being overwhelming? Because it's such a easy flavor to overdo, right?
Taste it every day till we're ready, and then we rack it right off the ginger.
What form is the ginger in? Is it like crushed or?
It's they're dried flakes. So basically, we buy them crystallized, or not crystallized, but dehydrated, and then we just let them soak in the mead until we're ready with them.
Got it. Okay. That's a pretty good method, by the way. You don't have to worry about putting in too much or too little. Just leave it on it until and then rack it off. I like the idea.
Yeah.
This is a good one, Michael. I like
tasty.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that one sells like crazy up here in New England around the holidays or Halloween. It just really, Salem, Massachusetts, known for the witch trials back in the 1600s. They seem to just can't get enough of it.
Right.
Let's bring that back again.
The witch trials?
Yeah.
Good
There's
idea.
a lot of witches that should go down.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't successful the first time, so
we didn't get them all.
We should bring it back.
Did you notice the stacked up witch on the label here?
Oh, yeah?
Kind of blends right in, but she's... who drew that, Michael?
I did my best to find a piece of clip art on the internet that I could take advantage of for that.
Good work.
Nice. How many different meads do you have, Michael? I know I've asked you this before, but I was
we're now over 70, so I think we're up to like 72. We've got a new one coming out that's probably going to be called Bad Apple, which we're making an apple in a Jim Beam bourbon barrel, so apple and honey.
Nice.
Pushing about 19% alcohol.
Wow. Over 70. It's such a different model than brewers. Even breweries that have several different beers, you don't reach 70. That's a lot of different varieties. I love
to me, it's playing. We've got a lot of Brewing Network fans. I got a call last night from a guy in Las Vegas who's actually the lead sommelier at a big hotel out that way, a casino. He's like, well, do you have a distributor yet? I'm like, well, I've been working on it. He goes, well, I'll buy some meat off you online and tell your distributor to get in touch with me. And so, your team, your fans just completely rock the world for us.
Beautiful. I love it. That's what we want to hear, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is another fantastic one. You can find it. Go check out Moonlight Meadery, and like Michael's saying, keep asking for it. If it's not in your area, ask your local liquor store to grab some. And
here's another quick news flash for you guys. We're shipping out probably close to 120 cases to Australia.
Australia? Wow.
Yeah, we're getting real close to announcing our distribution partnership out there.
That's awesome. We have a lot of listeners there, too. That's cool. Are you going to go to Australia for the launch?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any free airplane tickets yet, so
got it. I've been waiting for mine too, Michael. It's taken 8 years. I still haven't seen it.
I can get one.
We'll see what happens. All right, brother. Thanks so much for being on the program with us.
All right, we'll talk next month.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Michael.
Bye.
I like this one.
It is good, especially run out and grab this one. Above all, it sounds like it's going to go pretty fast.
It's an easy
Halloween.
drinker for such a big beverage. Wow.
Yeah, it'd be so easy to overdo that ginger, but it's really mellow.
And I'm usually not a fan of ginger in general. I don't like foods with ginger in it too much.
Or
but
redheads.
I don't mind a little.
Yeah, I know. It was just good.
Little goes a long way.
Yeah, it's really helping my hangover. It's getting me.
Is it helping you? I need to drink yours too, I think.
We got half a bottle. We got 2 bottles. We got half one left.
Oh, boy.
Get a straw for you? It'd be great.
Love it. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, I think. Does that sound good? How about a long break? Take a long break.
We'll be back Tuesday afternoon, everybody. Stay tuned.
In my car.
It's The Session. We'll be back with Block 15 in just a few minutes. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Homebrewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months until the next meeting.
Kids, come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines, so I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 9 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer and Brew Free or Die IPA throughout California and Alaska.
And now it's also available on draft at select accounts in the Bay Area.
So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in the can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack can.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry, and to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just 1 day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. session.
Brewing up our next batch of radio gold.
Right now.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks to Michael Fairbrother from Moonlight Meadery for being on the show again today and sharing his wonderful mead. We had Wicked today, and it's good stuff, and it's helping my Wicked hangover already, which is kind of fun. I was reminded at the break that some of the debauchery that happened on our weekend of fun and our bus trip yesterday is everyone ended up back at my house partying at the end and staying over because we're responsible drinkers here at the Brewing Network. Nobody drinks and drives. Well, I started to run out of beds. So by the end of the night, there was a little foursome action going on in my bedroom.
Oh.
We had me and Kate the Great and Nicole and Nate all sardined into my king bed.
Oh.
Boy, girl, too. Like, we knew that even though it was 5 a.m, we were drunk as hell, we knew the etiquette.
That's the good order.
Like Nate knew not to let me sleep next to him or he'd have to feel my boner.
Right. And get night raped.
I woke up and I was like, what the hell am I doing in there?
Oh, did I turn you down? Sorry, there you are, Nate. It was my fault.
I woke up in there and I was like, what am I doing in the bed? And I woke up with my shoes on. Everything was great.
Yeah, when you wake up with your shoes, at least I took mine off. And I got up and Andy went into the bathroom just before me.
Oh, yeah.
Longest piss in the world, I swear. And I'm just doing the dance in the hallway.
Right.
I think, get out of there. Get out of there. And finally he comes out. He's...
Sorry, man.
He goes in there, and then I came down, and Nate's trying to put his shoe. What? You were putting your shoes on?
Yeah, because Nicole took them off for me.
You were having trouble putting your shoes on.
I was having trouble putting my shoes on, yeah.
Nate got out of bed first. He had the shitty seat. You were on the edge just with... I was sandwiched in between the two ladies.
Yeah.
You're in...
Oh, yeah. As soon as I got up, I tried to put... Doc saw me trying to put my shoes on. As soon as I leaned over to put my shoes on, my stomach was like, nope. I ain't having this.
So, Nicole, my question is this: when I drink a lot, I tend to be a bit of a night raper.
Rapey Magoo is the term that I've adopted.
And I don't
a fondler.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, it can be bad, and I don't ever remember it. And I can apparently become quite aggressive. Like if people. Kate, I just hear. I never know, but I'm told that if you try to pull away, it's like a Chinese finger trap. Like I pull even tighter.
You redouble your effort.
So, Nicole, was there any abuse?
Armed with that knowledge, I was extremely vigilant when we first came to bed. I was like, oh boy, here comes the night rape.
I'd like to point out rape is not funny.
You're right.
I was definitely awake for a minute.
Waiting, yeah.
I was like, oh God, what's going to happen when Justin falls asleep?
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
No, every time I rolled over, though, you'd kind of reach over and give me a little pat on the ass. Like,
oh, well, that's not bad.
Hey, who is that over there? little pinch.
I think I was reaching for Nate. You just were in the way.
I think so, because you're reaching pretty far.
I was trying to touch his boner.
Well, between the night raping and the body parts everywhere, wouldn't it just be preferable to sleep on the floor at a certain point?
Well, that's why I gave the warning. Like, they were on their way up to the bed, and Doc was making me have another beer, and I said, you're welcome to sleep in that bed, but I'll tell you right now, I don't have a good track record.
Yeah, we were going to sleep on the couch, but everybody wanted to stay up late. I was like, fuck this, I'm going to go crawl in bed with Kate.
I was like, yeah, you are. Yeah. Anyway, what a boring foursome. We just slept.
That was really boring.
I think Kate eventually excused herself from the bed and went and slept on the chase line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's trying to do me a solid. She's like, I'm going to leave you two alone.
You three alone.
Yes, three. Well, no, Nate was already downstairs trying to put his shoes on by then, I think. Whatever the hell was happening. Well, it was a good time.
Maybe he was trying to leave you alone, too.
Yeah, everyone's like,
that was
me and Nicole
chance.
are like, I don't know, I just want to fucking sleep. Stop looking at me.
Well, I figured it was a good time when I got there and Schumann's getting off the bus and he was all but naked.
Was he?
Yeah.
No. It's not the Schumann I know.
I don't think that was Schumann. I think that was Danny. I think Schumann left with...
No. He was getting off the bus and I said hi to him and he didn't even see me. And he's sitting on the couch just... I don't know what he was doing, but he still wasn't dressed.
He wasn't jerking off in my driveway, was he?
No. I think he did the strip tease on the bus and just couldn't get it into him.
Also,
get it closed
very
back on.
unshuman-like.
He was all about that stripper pole on the bus.
Well, especially with that gut that he has now, because he has a girlfriend and domesticated living is real good for him.
Yeah.
That kid's put on 20 pounds. No one wants to see him stripping.
I think we have photos of him in his underwear dancing on the stripper pole. Oh, we have movies even.
Wow. That's unfortunate.
Well, speaking of strippers and boners and foursomes, our sponsor, Adam and Eve, has a great deal for you. You can go to adamandeve.com right now, and if you use coupon code BNARMY, that's BNARMY, you can get 3 free adult DVDs, 50% off just about any one item, free shipping, an adult gift so sensuous it would have been out of place in my bed last night.
Wow.
Yes, that's sensuous. Movies from genres such as
farting.
Is that one?
It should be.
Who would watch?
Well, I mean, I'm about to fart.
Oh,
but I'm not going to because I have class.
Tasty's better at this. What genres are there?
Squirting.
I told you he's better at this.
Straight face.
I do think that might be a topic or a
squirting.
All right, go to
what size LCD screen should I get? A 35-inch Panasonic. What DVD category? Squirting.
Go to adamandeve.com. Use coupon code BNARMY for all of that good stuff. I think I've got time to do feedback here at the beginning of the program.
I'm pretty sure you have.
We got a
plenty
couple of
time.
minutes before our guest, and we have a pretty short feedback anyway.
Oh my God!
You've got mail.
Kick ass.
Feedback's brought to you today by Keystone Homebrew Supply. Go check them out, our good friends over at Keystone. They're good people, and they've been supporting us for a while now, and we love them for it. Quick feedback segment, just a couple of emails came through this week. Songful Chris from Newport, Oregon writes in.
Isn't that adorable?
It's so cute. It's all one word, Songful Chris.
Yeah.
That's cute. People have such cute forum names, don't you think?
Yeah, like Pork Slapper.
Like Pork Slapper, yeah. He writes in, hey guys, I just wanted to say thanks for getting Block 15 on the show. We haven't even done anything yet, but they're on today's show. They're doing some awesome stuff right now. I also wanted to mention that I listened to the Alabama show again back in 2012 and heard Justin promised to do a show from Alabama once homebrewing was legalized. So get on the plane, bitches. Nate is the man and Tasty can suck a tiny one.
You did say that.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
What a dumbass.
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
It was-
Because you're dumb.
Yeah,
You figured it would never happen.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's never going to be.
Based on the audio we were listening to on that show, it didn't seem possible.
Right.
And then here we are in 202013. Bam.
I am an idiot. What are we going to do,
Well,
Moscow?
yeah, but you just confirmed it.
I don't want to go to Alabama.
It could be fun.
Will they even let you in the
doubt it.
state?
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. That'll be my excuse. They won't let me in. Can I just be a liar this time?
Sure, why not?
And not have to go?
Yeah, I don't want to go to Alabama. Who wants to go to Alabama? I mean, no offense, Alabama, but you suck. You know.
No one wants to go. Everyone wants to leave.
Right. All right. Oh, I don't know. We'll Moscow, help me. We'll figure something out. Can we just Skype in or something?
Yeah,
to Alabama.
We'll make it sound like we're there. You
Yeah.
know, we'll have like a guy playing the banjo in the background. Or
We're
something.
there now. We're actually in Alabama
welcome to
right
Alabama.
now. Yeah. Welcome to the program. All right, Matt writes in, last week's show was epic. It was the first show that my wife willingly listened to. She's been fermenting foods for our family for a few years now, and when she learned that Sandor Katz was your guest, she was literally jumping for joy. We had Sandor on last week for his new book, The Art of Fermentation.
Who's Joy?
She was making her fermented radishes and pickles as she listened. Thanks for bringing him on the show. My wife has been preaching the goodness of fermented foods for a while now, and it was good to see it brought to our dysfunctional but awesome audience on the BN. She's already forwarded the audio link to her fermenting friends. Uh-oh. She's going to lose some friends.
Or maybe she's fermenting her friends.
Right, that could be. Yeah. But thanks for branching out to a broader world of fermentation. A great show. Well, you're welcome. I was excited about that show, and I'm concerned. I haven't gone back and listened to it, but I hope it was okay. And the reason I say that is the book is so broad. There's so many things to cover. I really didn't know where to begin. I didn't know which questions to get into because there's so much content. So hopefully we got enough for you listeners out of Sandor. And if nothing else, go buy the damn book.
Yeah, he seems real passionate about it, and it's and especially for it not being a beer topic,
right?
It went over real well, I think.
All right, I hope so.
And a lot of people did buy the book. Actually, I was going to do that as my Amazon product of the week, but there were too many. Lots of people got it, so we expanded some horizons last week.
Great, good.
And you got to learn to love sauerkraut.
I did, and I do like sauerkraut now. There was some tasty stuff. Thanks again to our listener who sent it in.
Micah.
There we go.
Oh, Terrence the Black and Terrence the Little Black are here. I haven't seen that baby in a long time. No, I'm not seeing things. They're right there.
Is the new black here?
I swear. I don't know. Is New Black here too? Not just Middle Black?
Yeah, New Black and Old Black.
New Black.
Half white is the New Black. I don't know if you knew that.
There he is. All right, that's your feedback today. Live from Alabama. There we go.
Terrence is your people right here we're listening to.
Terrence is wearing his best Hootie shirt, I think. You getting into country music, Terrence?
Terrence wore that to church today.
Yeah, I actually am.
You are getting into country, aren't you? Why am I not surprised?
Because I'm a sellout, probably. I don't know.
Because you're whiter than most of us.
I am.
What kind of country, though?
Like Civil Wars and stuff like that. They're kind of
like Civil War era country.
You like
the Saints go marching in.
You like marches, yeah.
No, they're a country band. And they're pretty good. I like stuff like that.
Really?
I like Dwight Yoakam, and I don't like the new country.
You don't like Kenny Chesney?
No.
No, God, who would like that?
That's bad rock. I don't like
Right. Like Johnny Paycheck and like some good, clean country, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Okay, great. Good talking to you, Terrence.
All right, yeah, that was good story, bro.
What do you mean, bro?
All right, we still got a lot to do today. Our guest on the program today is Block 15 Brewing Company. It's Nick Arzner. Nick, are you with us?
I'm with you.
Hey, buddy, thanks for being on the show, man.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Where's Block 15 located?
We're downtown Corvallis, Oregon, right downtown 3rd and Jefferson.
Is there a downtown Corvallis, Nick? It's a small town, right?
We do have a small town. We've got Oregon State University, and I'm actually very proud of our downtown. We have a really nice waterfront, nice few blocks of local shops and restaurants, and we have a great downtown in Corvallis.
And you've got an awesome beer scene for a small town too, don't you?
We do.
What are some of the other breweries there too?
Well, we've got Flattail Brewing. They're a pub. And I understand they've been on the show.
Yeah, they're nut jobs, those guys. We love them.
Yeah, they are.
They're crazy.
Oregon Trail, of course, has been around. They're one of the original breweries in Oregon. Been around for quite some time. And then we have a couple newcomers. Sky High, they're opening a brew pub downtown. And then also Mazama Brewing, just right outside of town. And McMenamins has a little brewery on campus.
Oh, nice.
We round that out with a home brew shop that's been here quite some time, Corvallis Brewing Supply, kind of where I started brewing. And then, university where you can get a degree in food science with concentration in fermentation science. So we have quite the craft beer community here.
That's fantastic. How long have you been in Corvallis?
I've personally lived here 10 years. Block 15 has been here 5 years.
Okay. So what did you do before opening Block 15?
Well, I mainly worked in the restaurant industry. Came out of college, moved here from Indiana University, and was just working in different restaurants. I've worked in food service for quite some time. I think after changing my major 6 times, I decided to hell with it, and we'll just do with what I like.
There you go. And so you were a home brewer before?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At what point did you realize as a home brewer, like, hey, I got to have a pro brewery. I want to do this for a living?
I don't know if I ever came to that point. I think when my wife and I moved from Indiana, and we thought, wow, we're moving to Oregon, and we are really into craft beer. And even in Bloomington, Indiana, we had 2 great breweries, Upland Brewing Company and Bloomington Brewing Company. And we moved to Corvallis, and at the time there really wasn't anything. There was just Oregon Trail, and there was no brew pub. And we thought, what the hell's going on here? So we said, someday we'll open a brewery or a brew pub, kind of pipe dream. And 5 years later, we did it.
Nice. So it's a restaurant as well, not just a brewery.
Right. Yep. Yeah, about 120-seat restaurant.
And what size brewery do you have?
Well, we have a 7-barrel system, but we have, I think, 23 tanks in our cellar and 160 oak barrels.
Wow. That's a lot of barrels.
Yeah. It's kind of an obsession that's grown to the point where we don't have room for them anymore.
Is that right? Well, and a 7-barrel system for 5 years, you must be at capacity already, too, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think we've been at capacity really since after our 2nd year.
Wow. So you've just been trucking along and adding fermenters as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole idea was for the first several years was to grow quality, not quantity, and that's kind of what we've been doing, slow and steady.
Gotcha. And was the barrel program always part of the business plan, or did you grow into that?
I think kind of both. One big part of our business plan is that we wanted to do craft brew, or not do craft brew, but to help educate people of craft beer at the time. And part of that was going to be, to do a little bit more of the unknown styles, a more intense technique style of beer, and barrel maturing beer was one of those things. We have a cellar, or all of our cellaring operations are actually in a cellar downstairs, and over the years we've just been able to expand out, where there used to be files for lawyers that used to file all their files there, are now barrels, or there used to be a weird ass apartment down on one wing. That's now our wild cellar.
Nice.
So it just kind of grew and grew and grew.
Okay.
I like the weird ass apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shower down there still.
It's because you haven't put barrels in it yet.
That's right, yeah.
Do you bottle all of this barrel beer, or does it go into kegs, or what?
Most of it goes into kegs. We do bottle out of that program a little bit at a time. Kind of more this year we've done more, but we've kind of pushed that to the max as well. So some of these we do, we're able to, since everything is hands-on and real labor-intensive, out of the barrel program, we can actually bottle some of those things because people will pay the price that's needed for those.
And so do you sell your beer off-site, too? Can people buy it in local stores, or what?
Very little.
Okay.
There's a handful of places in Portland and a couple places in Eugene. So when we do a bottle release like we did last week, I'll reserve a few cases, and those will kind of get up to our fans that are in those locations.
Got it. And are you the head brewer?
Yeah.
You are. So did you go to school for brewing, or did you work in another brewery before this one?
No, well, the story of Block 15 is we started, and I knew it was going to be a tough jump from home brewing to professional brewing. We wanted, my wife and I really wanted to make sure we had good beer. So I got hooked up with, at the time, a gentleman named Steve Van Rossum. And he had been brewing in Oregon for about 14 years at the time, and had taken some time off. And I got hooked up through a third party with him, and we decided that would be our man to kind of get us up and going. And so I basically trained under him for the first 3-4 years of Block 15.
Nice. Well, see, that's smart. I think a lot of people who get into beer and open up a brew pub, they're just like, well, I'm just going to do it myself. How hard can it be to make great beer?
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
It is pretty hard. And so I think you're a smart owner that, well, I'll open the place, but let's have somebody train me to do it right.
Right. Well, and that allowed us to really, take a look at all. A lot of people tell you a brew pub is a restaurant first, right?
Okay.
So very important that things are running smoothly on that end of your operation. So that really let us buckle down, and then as our barreling program grew, that really became from the start really where I put a lot of my focus in. So I was able to really focus in on what we wanted to do in our barrel program and grow that, while Steve was cranking out our standards in a really nice, consistent way.
Got it. And is Steve still there now?
No, he's moved on. Just recently, actually, about the last year and a half, he phased out to a brewery in Springfield called Planktown, which is he was actually commuting about an hour each way. But in the meantime, we had my main man is Matt Williams, and he's been with us since we opened, actually as a dishwasher, but he was going to school at OSU in the fermentation program. And we brought him into our brewery, I think he'll correct me tomorrow, but I think about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And so we had just kind of a beautiful transition between what Steve was doing, and he gave me the heads up a year in advance of, hey,
wow,
we'll be moving on this project. And I really respected that. And so we've had this kind of seamless transition to where, it's now myself and Matt and actually 2 other guys in our brewery because we are so labor intensive.
Okay. Yeah, lucky you. That was pretty generous of Steve to do. That's a good dude.
Yep, definitely. He's a hell of a guy for sure.
Okay. Well, let me do this. I'm going to bring us to a quick break so that we can pour some of your beer into our glasses.
I would love that.
And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the beer with you, and I want to talk more about the barrel program, too.
You got it.
All right, hang in there, everybody. We'll be right back with Block 15.
listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Have you ever dreamed about attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lalamond and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lalamond and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2014 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition in the 2014 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology worth almost $4,000. From now until December 13th, 2013, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries in to the Danstar 2014 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your home brewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Danstar and Lalamond Premium Brewing Yeast and enter to win. All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf Shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hop Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit austinhomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of BrewVent yeast fuel as well, Yeast Nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit austinhomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, austinhomebrew.com.
Tin, Getting tired of that same old handcrafted beverages day after day? Are you looking for something with more diversity than your normal beer? Fellow BN Army member Michael Fairbrother, owner of Moonlight Meadery, is reviving an entire beverage category. Mead!
The meads at Moonlight Meadery are all handcrafted from the finest honey on the market and are perfect for any occasion, like weddings, baby showers, or...
Excuse me? Mead is not your average girly drink, mister, and Moonlight Meads can be enjoyed anytime, anywhere. Football games with the guys.
Yeah.
Barbecues with the guys.
Yeah.
Operating power tools with the guys.
Yeah. Actually, sir, that's really dangerous.
Good point, son.
Next time you have something to celebrate or are just looking for a new tasting experience, pick up a bottle of mead from Moonlight Meadery. Now in 21 states, making over 60 varieties of mead from dry, semi-sweet to sweet.
Break out of that craft beer lull. Grab a bottle of Moonlight Mead. Can't find some? Then ask. No, make that demand some.
Yeah!
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainasheff, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at heretigbrewer.com.
What's funny is brewers will say, yeah, I don't brew to style. I'm brewing my own beer, and it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know?
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
Tuned into The Session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
right, thanks for sticking with us. We're talking to Nick Arzner from Block 15 Brewery and Restaurant in Corvallis, Oregon. And Nick, we just opened. You might have to help me pronounce this one.
Sure.
Femme de la Ville Provision.
Yeah, close enough.
Right.
It's translated loosely to the city farm, and then provision to hold back.
Got it. There's a hot ginger girl on the label. You see that, JP?
I did see. Trust me, I saw that. Is she based on someone real? Can I have her phone number?
No, our artist who does a lot of our intricate labels. She has this thing for these wild women. That's what she drew when I said, "Hey, here's the beer." That's what she gave me, and I said, "That's cool. Let's do it."
We have something in common.
It's a really good label.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. More importantly, it's a really good beer. Tell us about it.
Well, so this was our first wild ale I think we released, and this is the third year of bottling it. And the idea was, kind of from my research, was to, I don't know, not replicate, but to honor kind of the farmhouse tradition, that would have been years and years ago. And from my research, it was, they would have brewed some beer with a lot of grains that would have been on the farm, and consumed it and blended back in any beer that was left over from the previous year, as they're frugal and you don't want beer to go to waste. So that's this whole idea of this beer, is that we brew a farmhouse ale fresh in the spring, and we always blend in barrels from past farmhouse ales, normally around a year old, that have Brettanomyces added to the barrels.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely taste the Brett character in the beer, which I really like, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a blend of how many different beers then?
Well, I think this year it changes every year. This year is two beers, one from a year ago, 2 barrels that were from a year ago, and then the fresh one this year. 2 years ago, I blended in a barrel from the fall and one from the spring type of thing. So it changes a little bit. The recipe kind of stays the same. And as we reuse the barrels, of course, the character changes, because we dump the barrels and refill them without rinsing them. So we're kind of gaining more and more character, as the years go on.
Hang on,
do you do a straight fermentation first and then just rely on the barrels to get the Brett character?
We do a mixed fermentation.
So you do add some Brett yourself that's not just
earlier
from
on
the barrels?
Correct. Yeah. For this one we do. Yep.
Got it.
What strain do you like to work with on this
Well,
project?
so this one, and this was when we first did the beer, I think we first brewed it in 2009. I really wanted a light introduction to Brettanomyces for everyone. And so this is the Brettanomyces clausenii, if I'm pronouncing it right, which is really the lightest strain of Brettanomyces. What I get is a lot of nice tropical fruit and citrus.
Yeah, apricots especially.
In fact, I was going to ask if there's like peach or apricot or something in it.
I get more like a pineapple is what I think that strain really
I get a lot of
brings out more.
pineapple is what I pick up from the beer. But that's real indicative of that Brettanomyces strain. It's not horsey or funky or or wet dog or any of that. It's a lot more mild of a Brett.
I want one for wet cat.
Wet cat.
Or nice cat, or like
dirty hamster.
Handsome cat. I think that'd be good.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how much fruit character can come out of just the yeast or just the Brett.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a very, very dry beer.
Yeah.
And so that when the fruit comes through, even as dry it is, it really pops.
Right. I like this beer a lot. It's a good one. Is this popular for you guys?
Yeah, we have a sell it no problem, I guess.
I bet, yeah.
That makes it popular, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
When you blend it, does it then age longer, or do you blend it and it's ready for the bottle and goes on sale?
We always give it, this beer we give 2 months. So, at least 2 months. So we'll blend it, and normally we'll let it set in tank for, a little bit, maybe a couple weeks. Then we'll package it, and then we'll put it in our cellar and wait a couple months before we release it.
Well, this is, the Belgian bottle corked and caged. Are you re-fermenting in the bottle?
Yeah, bottle conditioned.
Totally bottle conditioned?
Yep, and we use honey for this one.
Oh, nice.
Well, yeah, that comes off with that dry taste, too.
Yeah, okay.
So you don't add any honey until the bottle conditioning time?
There's a little bit in the kettle as well.
In the kettle also, okay.
What changes do you notice from the time that you blend it and then that, a few months before it's on the shelf?
Mainly the hop character kind of relaxes a little bit. and the Brettanomyces character increases. This beer is really cool. I always say it's one of my favorite beers that we brew to enjoy fresh, and fresh 2 months into it, and then also a year later, because a year later those hops really drop out and some acidity starts to build. Nothing anywhere close, to a real sour beer, but maybe lightly tart, and it's a really cool beer a year later as well.
Okay.
Some brewers can find Brett unpredictable as the bottles age. Do you ever have any issues with too much carbonation or not enough?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I mean, we've, you kind of have to try to figure, well, if the Brett eats through the rest of the, sugar in here, what are we going to end up with carbonation-wise? And, knowing that not everyone's storing their bottles in a 50-degree cellar.
Right.
So this beer, I think, last year or 2 years ago, if you held on to it for a while, you wanted to chill it down quite a bit before popping the cork.
Okay.
Do you have any way of getting feedback from, obviously it's individual beer and individual bottles. Website stuff, people that have it can comment on it, because it's just all over the place.
Just because of the differences? You ever see that? Comments on your beers?
Yeah, I think if there's any comments like that, like, hey, it's overcarbonated, it's not bottle to bottle, it would definitely be batch specific.
Right.
For that beer.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you're doing your in-house evaluations. You're holding on to some and things. I just wondered if you actually listen to your customers' feedback, or have any way to get that.
Nah, screw them.
No, we love them. We're fortunate to have a pretty strong, small following, and they're more than happy, at beer releases to tell me about how our other beers are going. Or they'll say, hey, Nick, did you notice this about this beer? Good or bad or indifferent. And I'll say, well, do you guys just think I sit around and drink beer all the time? I can't go through everything. But they are some of the best for saying, hey, if I get an email, and something's going on with this, I'll be able to then be like, let's try the 2011 whatever, and see if something's going on. We're real well aware we're a very small hands-on craft brewery, and there's going to be inconsistencies and barrel maturing for sure. We're going to learn from them.
Oh, right.
And we're going to keep marching forward. But our customers are pretty awesome, and I love getting emails from them.
With this particular blend, what are you going for? I'm still always mystified by the blending process and how to figure out how much of one and how much of the other. With the different aged farmhouse ales that you're putting in here, what is your goal? What are you looking for?
I think what I'm really looking for when it's initially released is it to have a character of both beers, the fresh and the matured, leaning towards the fresh, and that's kind of what I'm going for. So you have this kind of vinous, if you want to call it, character to it, but it still is fresh. And when I blend this beer, that's kind of what we're going for.
What are you going straight 50-50, or are you trying to actually?
No, this is about 30%.
30, okay.
And you probably do that every year. Decide which
roughly.
is which.
Got it.
Yeah.
We just opened another one of your beers. Is this the Sticky Hands Moscow?
The big, the mandatory double IPA.
The hop aroma is out of this world.
It's really good.
This is double IPA?
It's
sir.
Before it ever even got to my nose, I was getting the hop aroma, and then holy smokes, it's pretty intense, man.
So yeah, this is the only beer we bottle that is not bottle conditioned and not that we don't intend for people to age. And we did it this year mainly because our hop contracts were so screwed the first few years we were open, and I finally worked really hard this year. We had hop contracts, so I said, let's blow out, I call it a hop experience ale project, so let's blow out one of these. So the first weekend of every month we release Sticky Hands or a variant of Sticky Hands.
Okay.
And that was the idea. And I don't know if you have the bottle in front of you, but kind of some tongue-in-cheek also, for what's going on in the double IPA world. As far as,
you mean that it's ridiculous?
Yeah.
That it's ridiculous, and that if you look on the side, it says best before yesterday. So
Nice.
to make sure that you can never have it as good as it is.
Right.
Because it's already too old, or down on the bottom, so hoppy your tongue will slap your face. But the thing is that this beer, we blow through it so fast. It's just, it's ridiculous.
It's surprisingly,
for lack of a better word, it's surprisingly balanced in the flavor. After that aroma, I thought, okay, it is going to melt my face off, but it's not all that bitter.
I think
it's balanced with there's some sweetness in the end, which is kind of nice, and my palate's not dead,
right?
Although it should be.
Yeah.
Oh, mine is.
You think it's super bitter, JP?
Oh yeah, I had bitter beer face.
You did.
I seriously did. Flavors are very nice. It tastes a lot like fresh hops off the vines.
Yeah.
Smells like you're surrounded by hops on the vine, like the fresh. It is an incredible aroma, and the flavor comes through a lot. But for me, you used to go, it's not that bitter. I'm going, I can't even dig right now.
Right.
It's insane.
I can see why a lot of people like it. It sounds like you go through a lot of it.
Oh, yeah, I can see why.
It's got a great balance. It's got... it's really hop forward, but then it has that multi finish in it. It's really neat.
Here's something that you're probably never going to hear out of me. I like this.
Doc's not a hoppy beer guy.
Not at all.
All right.
And the aroma just about killed every olfactory receptor I had.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But that's balanced really well.
Yeah.
Can you
tell us about the recipe?
Yeah. What we try to do, basically we're looking at, this is the one beer that I don't talk normally about, like what hops exactly are in it, or most beers I'll break down everything for everyone. For a couple reasons. One, if you're like, it has Columbus in it, well, then there's always going to be the people like my great friend Drew, who is like, Columbus is onion and garlic. So if I tell him Columbus is in that beer, he's not going to like it,
right?
Regardless. Basically what we've worked on is beer kind of based on my travels around, and that's, it's pretty much all Amerisat or pale malt, tiny bit of Crystal 15 in there. I think it's Crisp 15, and all the hops are in at with a tiny bit of first wort hop, mainly to keep the beer in the kettle while it's boiling. They're all 20 minutes to whirlpool.
Got it. Okay.
So just a really
shitload.
Right, and what you learn, and we use pellets, and by the time you whirlpool and rest, you're going to gain a lot of bittering units and a lot of flavor from that beer. And then our dry hopping regime of putting our dry hops in at the back end of primary fermentation, and then also in secondary fermentation, or not secondary, but in the conditioning tank.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are finding you don't need to add the bittering hops to get plenty of bitterness, and this beer has that. No issue there.
Right.
So since Nick's not going to tell us, Nathan, Tasty, our resident hop
I was waiting for this.
What hops do you think are in it, guys?
I'll tell you if you're right.
Oh, okay, cool. He'll tell you if you're right.
I can guess.
I think I can pick out 3. What do you think, Tasty? You think you got 2 or 3 that might be in here before I say anything?
I have one.
You have one in particular? Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Nate.
Getting CTZ, Citra, and Amarillo.
Yep. Those three are in there.
Nice.
Tasty, did you have a different one?
I just said the Citra.
The Citra?
Yeah, Citra's there.
JP,
for sure.
did you have a different one?
Simcoe.
No Simcoe.
Yeah, no Simcoe.
So good. I meant Simcoe's not in it. I thought we were eliminated.
Right.
Northern Brewer.
No Northern Brewer.
I get that.
I get pine tree.
You get a woody kind of thing?
No. It's a woody kind of level-headedness of that. It's not fruity.
Yeah.
It's
maybe that's the Amarillo coming through.
Amarillo has a very specific citrus quality to it.
I can taste that, but there's another one in there.
Kind of oily citrus to me.
Yeah, but there's another one in there that's just kind of a neutral bitterness.
I get the same piney that JP is mentioning.
Yeah, there's some Chinook in here.
Like Douglas fir.
And definitely in the aroma, too.
Christmassy.
There's some Chinook in there, yeah.
Chinook, okay.
Are there a lot more varieties than 3 or 4? I mean,
there's only one other. We look for a blend of kind of what you guys are talking about. Some of the piney, some of the fruity, some of the tropical fruit, and that's kind of what. So we do a variation on this beer so we do 2 months of variations. Like we've done a citrus slam, sticky hands, where we brewed with all citrus hops, and then we've done one. Last month's was Damn the Blends, and it was with all the damn blends, that everyone, Falconer's Flight, Centennial type, Zythos, and so But when we come back around to the base one, Sticky Hands, what I'm really trying to do is maybe take what we've learned, but create this hop experience that kind of hits on all those levels of what you would get in hops: pine, citrus, tropical fruit, earthy, and that's the series. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
You're going for a specific flavor or aroma profiles, not just using a hop for the name. Like, you want something very specific out of it.
Yeah, and I really like that this beer has some old school hops and some new school hops in it, so a cross of between the two, what's hot out there, but then also, hey, these tried and true hops like Chinook or Centennial, or even some Cascade that have been around for a while, and they're still brewing great beers.
Have you had to adjust this beer at all because of hop shortages, or you can't get the varieties you want?
No, not this for this series. There's some I'd like to do within the series that I can't do because I can't get the hops. But for the base Sticky Hands, I'm set with my contracts for the year to be able to do that. But now I couldn't. I mean, if I could, I would brew this beer more than I do now. But we can't. We can't. We don't have the hops to do that.
Well, Nick is doing 7 barrels too, Doc. So he can probably trade or get small amounts of hops if he can't always get.
Yeah,
them, right?
but he's hit it right on with these. This is combination of these.
On this one,
and like with anything else, if one drops out because you can't get it, and it sounds like, I'm just not going to brew it now.
Right. Do you have any particular capacity problems with your 7-barrel system and putting in this amount of hops into the boil?
What's interesting, we found, like, I look back at notes and maybe the first double IPA or maybe triple we tried years ago, we packed in 20, I don't know, it was like 22 pounds, and it went over our top whirlpool port, and it just fucked everything up. Like, the brew was, it was a nightmare trying to get the word out of the kettle and everything else. And, what we've really learned is that it's not how many hops you use, but it's where you put them.
Okay.
And the whole recipe, and even this, Sticky Hands, compared to maybe the one 3 months ago, I'd have to look at our notes, but it probably uses a little bit less hops, actually. And then when I start reading about hops and then olfactory and all this stuff, and you begin to realize that sometimes less is more. And it's about finding that balance, not packing in as many hops as you can.
Okay.
But finding that balance of the different hops and where you use them and how you use them.
Okay.
How do you even do that without it becoming muddled? Like, even 3 or 4 different varieties seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Like when Nate just nailed those 3, I thought, like, well, God, could you do 5? What's the limit?
It starts to become muddled a little bit, I think, if you start pushing too many.
Yeah, how could it not?
You can go up to 3, 4, 5 and still get some distinct properties.
Okay.
Especially when they're related.
A lot of those hops kind of have crossover properties as well.
Exactly.
Amarillo shares some traits with Cascade.
And the
and so they might play with each other in a way.
See, I think that's a unique art, too. And Matt Brynelson has come on the program and talked about combinations of hops and things like that. And my hop knowledge is just so limited that I'm mystified by finding those blends that complement each other, too, and still being able to pick out, like you were able to do, Nathan, the individual hops in the beer. It's an art, I think, to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of them are really very characteristic, and it's cool to be able to pick those out. But I think, like what Nick's doing, he's trying to go for a specific profile that all 3 kind of accentuate each other in ways which you wouldn't get if you just only use that.
Yeah.
They build on each other.
Yeah.
So, Nick, what about the dry hopping of this beer? Are there any particular techniques that you like to use in dry hopping in terms of maybe what temperature the beer is or at what stage you put it in?
Well, that's what has been a great thing about this series. We've learned a whole lot about that.
Okay.
When we put in different hops and how they age, and so what we try to do is put in normally the more aggressive ones, like Columbus, for example, we'll put in at the back end of primary, so that hop has the most amount of time by the time we package it to kind of settle down.
Okay.
And then we'll put in our second. So this beer we always brew. It's a 2-batch beer that we blend. So we brew. We really only yield 6 barrels off of it because it's so big.
Okay.
So we'll do a 6-barrel batch, and then we'll brew another 6-barrel batch, and then we'll combine those into a conditioning tank, and that's where they'll get their final dry hop.
Okay.
So we have learned that a warmer, if through research. We found, and not only, I guess, from our own practices, but actual research, if you read about it or talk to people, and that is, you don't need a whole lot of contact time especially for pellet hops. And that it is good to put them in a little bit warmer. It flashes off some of the grassy character. The boiling point for those hexanols are right at room temperature, so that's a good thing if you're trying not to have so much of the grassy or vegetal. And we've learned that we've had in the past. We're like, why the hell is this grassy character in our IPA? We can't figure it out. And then we do it warmer, and then you find something, you're like, oh, that's why. Because some scientist who knows a lot more than us said that's why.
Got it.
And that's kind of and then we try to package it pretty close to that. We don't let our beer sit on hops more than probably 7 days. And that's from the time we dry hop it warm, give it a couple days, and then we, crash it, cool it down, and then package it.
Do you filter?
No.
Do you find that it's detrimental to that late hop character?
We don't filter because Steve said that's what your liver's for.
Nice. Make a T-shirt out of that.
we just never had a filter, so we've never filtered.
Got it. Okay. So now we've got our third beer in front of us. By the way, thanks for sending this beer down.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's always nice to talk about it when we're tasting it.
Yeah, and this next one's a real treat. I believe this is the only you only brewed one batch of this beer ever, right?
We've only released one. We have several batches of this in our wild cellar. This is the only one that's been released unfruited. We did a fruited release at the same time.
Gotcha. It's called Go ahead. Sorry.
This one's called what? Turbulent Consequence?
Yes.
Is that what we have here?
Yes, it's an American wild ale.
So the program is called Turbulent Consequence, and it's our spontaneous fermentation program. So within that program, we just started to release different variations out of that. And this is the first, which is Premier Année, which means year one.
So when you say spontaneous, does that mean that you're not inoculating this beer at all yourselves?
That's correct. This is 100% from from my research. Our best shot at brewing in being inspired by the lambic beers. I wouldn't call this beer lambic at all, but it is based heavily after that style of beer, even from the mash to the matured hops. And I had a custom cool ship fabricated a couple of years ago.
Nice.
Down in our wild cellar, spontaneous fermentation into barrels. Everything about it is as classic as we could do.
So where are you getting your bugs spontaneously?
So we have.
I know how they do it in Belgium with the large cool ships and a lot of surface area. And
yep.
But yours down in a basement, you said, yeah?
You open the windows and
right.
run around.
Well, so there's two schools of thought, right? The romantic one is that lambics are fermented off the cherry orchards that aren't there anymore.
Yeah,
in Belgium. The other
it's a strip mall now.
Right.
What's that?
It's a strip mall now.
You're right. The other idea is, there was a guy once said, I can't remember his name, he was a French scientist, said when talking about wine is that a winemaker should imagine the whole surface of their winery and equipment being lined with yeast. So we went after that approach to our program, and so when we bought the cool shipper, when I had it made, to back up, we have one brewery upstairs, and we have two separate cellars downstairs. So one is a non-wild cellar. We do all of our regular beers through like Sticky Hands or barrel maturing beer that's not wild. And then on the other wing of the cellar downstairs is our wild cellar. And so a couple years ago, we started open fermentation, mixed fermentation, barrels with all sorts of Brettanomyces, Lactobacillus, Pediococcus, and we made that our wild cellar. And the idea was that we were, in my head, growing up the flora within that cellar. So keeping that in mind of that yeast is all over the surface of our brewery and intentionally making that our flora. And so even though I had the cool ship for a year, we didn't use it as a cool ship for over a year as we built up the flora within that room.
So all the oak that's in that room is hosting all of this interesting...
teaming.
Yeah.
Right.
So why don't you dispel a lot of everybody's myth and their fear about you have more than one house yeast. You've got a wild cellar and you've got a non-wild cellar.
But you can still make clean beer.
And any problems in between?
No. The stainless steel can be clean and sanitized. I wouldn't use the same tank for wild and non-wild. But you put out a some apple juice anywhere in the world, it's going to ferment. So I used to tell brewers, when they came and visited me a few years ago, and they say, I don't know about, Nick, you're using this Brettanomyces, and we look at you as in fact, I have a beer named Golden Canary because one brewer said, we're looking at you as the canary in the coal mine, whether you can do this.
Right.
And,
and it's working.
We have, it's all right. We have separate
how much trouble is it for you to
hang on? Go ahead.
Keep it clean between the two.
Okay. Well, that's what I was going to kind of talk about. Is that we have separate hoses, separate gaskets, separate pumps, separate tanks, separate kegs.
Okay.
So we take those precautions. But I have successfully, we had some beer we did, a blended beer of wild and non-wild, both in bourbon barrels, and we had an extra barrel of the non-wild, and so we didn't know what to do with it, so we racked it over to our wild cellar into a non-wild bourbon barrel. That's a year and a half ago. The thing's still sitting there. Nothing has happened to it.
Wow.
There's no Brettanomyces has began. We keep it sealed up, but I think it goes to show you that these wild critters, they don't have arms and thumbs. They're not opening up your bungs and jumping in or anything. But with that, if you're a clean brewery and take cleaning and sanitizing seriously, I think you're fine.
Well, you're taking just the normal minimal precautions. Is separate hoses, separate this, and you're dispelling that whole bad vibe of I don't want that in my brewery because it's going to take over the whole brewery. And
Love it.
But you're not going crazy trying to keep everything separated. You're just doing the normal stuff that anybody would. Don't use the same tanks, the same this. That's minimal stuff.
Sure.
And you're having great success. And
this beer's awesome, by the way.
Just keeping them separate.
Yeah, thank you.
So there shouldn't be any fear of I can't do that because it's going to take over my whole brewery.
Yeah, but you're not the one who spent $1 million on the brewery. Those are the people who are worried. Like I just spent all this money on the brewery, and I'm not arguing. I think you're right, Doc. I understand where these people are coming from. They're nervous about their investment.
Well,
right?
I'm also talking on the homebrew level.
Yeah,
where people are just afraid to even try a sour beer,
right?
Because they think it's gonna
ruin everything.
Yeah. They think they can't be clean enough.
Yeah. This beer it really did come out awesome. Well done.
Question about this beer. It seems like the label hints at a lot of traditional lambic type producing techniques. You do a turbid mash and a really long boil and aged hops. Sticking to those techniques as much as possible.
Yeah, and I was actually really surprised how well this turned out. It's kind of a program we started, and if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. I'm excited now after kind of this first successful blending of it, and where it's going to kind of increase the production of this type of beer. And by increase I mean like brew it 2 more times a year.
Right. Is this a traditional blend, like a 3-year or 2-year with a 1 year?
It's a 1 year blend.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's just 2 barrels that are blended together.
Got it.
When you're talking blending, how long does it take you to kind of settle on your blend?
It kind of depends on the mood I'm in, I guess.
Right.
Are you the only one with input on that?
Yeah. No. I'll normally take it. No, I'll definitely take it to Matt or take it to my other guys. And after I do like to blend on my own and kind of in my own space and my own time. And I'll pull out of barrels and then I'll measure out different amounts and do different, and I'll kind of come up with what I like, and then I'll maybe take them 3 of them and see what they like the best. And if they chose the one I like the best, it's kind of like, all right, great, this is a good blend.
And then you won't fire them.
No.
Good job. You chose the one I like. You get to keep your job for another week.
Good. Yeah.
I kind of do the same thing where I'll blend a bunch of different ways, and I'll come down to like the last 3, and I really can't make up my mind between those 3.
Yeah.
And I got to get somebody else's palate on it to say,
this
is the one. I would rather drink more of this one than that. They're all good, but I would rather drink more of this one than this one because I've already went through 10 of them.
And that's a good point. You get your own kind of, I think, palate fatigue just because it's your beer and you work so hard to blend it, and now you do need that other opinion.
Yeah, you need the blind person to just come in and say,
yeah,
I like them all, but this one it just really is better.
Yeah, and a lot of times, since I'm in a restaurant and brewery situation, I'll be able to, once I come up with I think it's a good blend, I'll be able to roll into the office, and if my wife is there, I'll be like, try this, and I read her face before she tells me what she thinks about it, or my general manager. They're pretty honest, especially if you don't tell them what the hell it is. Hey, try this, and you'll get an honest response, because you want to see are people going to like this, and you're really correct about palate fatigue, and that happens sometimes really quicker than I would definitely like, when tasting through barrels. And pretty soon, sometimes I just throw in the towel and say, I'm going to readdress this, in a week.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. If I worked in your office and you came in with a glass of sticky hands and didn't tell me what it was, I'd tell you were insane right when it got to my nose. But then it came out great.
all three of the Block 15 beers that we've tried so far in bottles have come in different bottle type. Is that conscious decision on your guys' part, or just using what's happened to be available?
Yeah, we started, so the provisions, we started with 750s, and then the Turbulent Consequence, we moved to 375s because it would be such a small case amount. And then the Sticky Hands, I don't know why in the hell I chose that bottle. I guess I just wanted a different bottle.
No, it's nice to have. It kind of makes them very distinguishable. It's very cool.
It's just unusual for an IPA.
Well, and it's a good question you asked, Nate, because a lot of, I think, breweries try to stick to the one image. And I will say even your labels look so different, not just the bottles, that other than you have the Block 15 square at the top of each label, it would almost be hard to see that it's a Block 15 beer from across the room, like other brands try to do.
Right. And we, our beer doesn't really end up on many shelves, so I guess we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, right.
Nick, what is your distribution format? Are you self-distributing pretty much?
Our beer doesn't really end up on many shelves, so I guess we don't have to.
Got a little echo there, sorry.
Oops, sorry.
It's all right. Did you unplug your headphones, maybe?
I don't know. No, they're just
freaking out on you?
Am I better now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Nick, I was asking about
I just got the shitty Fred Meyer ones.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, I'm going to unplug them and just go with it.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Unplug them and just go with it.
Yeah. You there?
Are you guys there?
Yeah. No, now we hear you.
Okay. I unplugged the headphones. I think they weren't working.
Okay. This might work. We'll see.
I'm here. Yeah. No, now we hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I unplugged the...
Yeah, you know what it is? I think, are you playing the show in the background all of a sudden? I'm going to have to hang up on you and call you back, Nick. There we go. There's nothing worse than listening to me. How do people listen to the show?
Really?
As soon as I hear me, I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm glad I don't listen.
They're just like in the chat room hanging out, man.
Like, wow, nothing brings a show to a crashing halt than
you.
Worse than listening to me. Let's try to call Nick. We're about done anyway, but we'll get a couple last questions in here if we can get him back on the line. Let's see if it works.
We have a recipe, too, so hopefully we can get that out of him.
You there, Nick?
Yeah, are you there?
There we go. Loud and clear.
I don't know what happened. It just out of nowhere to start doing that.
Oh, beautiful technology. It fucks with us right at the opportune moment. Tasty, what was your question?
Nick, I was asking you about your distribution format. Are you self-distributing pretty much?
Yeah, we probably 90% of the beer we brew goes through our taps, and we just distribute just a small amount, mainly bottles out of our bottling program.
All right. And what's your bottling system? You got so many varieties of bottles here. I have to think that you're hand bottling.
Yeah, of course. We Matt, who's handy as hell, builds us a counter pressure system for our sticky hands. Nice. Other than that, from our barrel program, since they're all bottle conditioned, we're just hand bottling all those.
Gotcha.
Well, it's all been fantastic beer. I want to thank you for sharing it with us, Nick. And
you're welcome.
You also did a wonderful thing for our listeners. Not a lot of brewers do this for us anymore, so we appreciate that you've done it. But you sent a recipe our way.
Yeah, I did.
And it's a recipe for Superfly Rye. Tell us about the beer.
It's just a fall seasonal we do. It's a hoppy rye beer. I wouldn't call it a rye PA or anything, but I thought it'd be fun. It's a real popular one in the fall season. I thought it'd be fun since we haven't brewed it yet for this fall to kind of give it to your listeners. And if any of them are around here, they can maybe brew up a batch and come in sometime in September or late September, October, and try ours on tap. So just a really nice rye beer with about 24-25% rye malt. Adds a little spiciness to it and some Crystal, Centennial, and Cascade hops.
I'll give the recipe a quick read, but I'll also have JP posted on our live stream page where you can see photos of today's show, and also you can watch the video from it. But I'll read it. I'll read through it real quick. It has an OG of 1061, final gravity of 10.8, and 66 IBUs. Suggested yeast here is Y yeast 1056. It's a single infusion mash at 152 degrees, and it's a 100-minute boil that you do. Why 100 minutes?
We want to make sure we have a good boil going. So, I mean, you kind of assume that first 10 minutes of boil is pretty soft, and so is that last 10 minutes. So we've always Steve was a big believer in a 100-minute boil, so we've always stuck with that to make sure we're really, driving off any unwanted, DMS or anything we would want out of the beer. Not that this one would really have much in it, but so we just have always stuck with a 100-minute boil. Okay.
And this particular grain bill, it's 71% two-row with RAR. It's 24% rye malt from Wireman, 4% Crystal 120, that's crisp, 1% chocolate, and that's Patagonia, and optional rice hulls if you're worried about a stuck mash. And is that because of the rye malt that you'd be worried about it?
Yeah, it can definitely get a little gummy. So, I mean, we're not prone to a stuck mash, so we don't have to worry about it. But if you're prone to sticking your mash as a home brewer, you should probably throw some rice hulls in there.
Okay, got it. And hops, all pellet hops, Columbus for 23 bittering units. That's a first wort hop, actually. And then 20-minute Crystal for 10 IBUs, 12-minute Centennial for 23 IBUs, and 10 minutes of Cascade for 10 IBUs. Fermented 68 degrees. You guys, you gave a lot of information here. I appreciate it. You pitched 1 million cells per milliliter per degree Plato. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. So a nice big starter there. And then of course you also dry hop in primary. Blow out the yeast cone and then dry hop with Cascade. 25 pounds a barrel.
Quarter pound a barrel.
Oh, sorry. There it is. Yeah, quarter. There's that dot. Yeah, I thought I was going to come back and go, holy shnikes.
Look like pea soup.
Which would be, looks like 0.66 ounces for a 5-gallon batch. You do that when the gravity is 1015. Allow fermentation then to finish. Rest and VDK test. What's VDK test?
Diacetyl.
Got it. Okay. How do you do that test?
You want to warm up. You want to take your sample and warm it up, ideally to about 100 degrees, 120 degrees, and really we just do just a sensory test. If you're getting any buttery popcorn in there, then give that beer another day. Try it again. If it's clean, you should be good.
Got it. And I like this next part. That you then crash the beer after a passed test, which is the point of the test. So don't crash beforehand, which I have done. And then served to my friends who looked at me like I was a dumbass.
Again.
You're going to dry this and put it on popcorn, right?
Yeah. Rack to secondary and condition at 40 degrees for 2 weeks. Bring the beer back to room temperature and dry hop with Centennial. This time it's also 0.25 pounds per barrel. And then again with Cascade, same amount the day after. Let rest for 2 days. Crash and carbonate. Interesting that you crash and then you actually go through the trouble of bringing the beer back up to room temp.
Yeah, for us it's real simple. We just cut our jackets and it'll bring it up and kind of what I talked about earlier. We feel we get a better dry hop extraction and then drive off any of those grassy notes if we do that.
Okay, good technique.
Yeah, I think you can really get some nice flavor impact that way. Not everyone has the time or wants to do it, but
right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially my lazy ass, but it's a good technique. Yeah. All right, Nick, I really appreciate you being on the program. Block 15 is the brewing company. You can go check them out at block15.com if you want to learn more about it, or if you're in Corvallis, stop in. I highly recommend going in and trying these beers because they were fantastic. Nick, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
And thanks for sending those beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was happy to be here.
All right, well, when I'm in Corvallis, I'll come see you because I want some more of the wild fermentation ales, man.
We'll give you a cellar tour.
Beautiful. All right, brother. Thanks for being on the show.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Nick Arsner from Block 15. Excellent beer.
Yeah, it was very good.
Really good stuff.
You're going to swing by Corvallis on your way to Alabama?
Yes, on the way to Alabama. When I do the Alabama show, I'll be
the
going
Alabama loop. Yeah, that's what we call it.
How about, is Flat Tail coming back to the Winter Brews Festival?
Yes, they're
I
planning
hope so.
on it.
Yeah,
They're planning on it.
Bring us some bottles of the Block 15. Would you please?
I will be up there in September doing my collaboration beer. So
that's right.
I will definitely bring some for you guys.
You're brewing with the boys from... They actually like you, huh?
They love me.
I thought maybe it was a joke on the show.
Push it.
That's not very nice.
We're actually considering doing another beer too.
Really?
Before we even do we're doing 2 in September. One will be a Berliner Weiss.
They know that Tasty and Nathan are on the show, right?
Yeah, they know, but what are you going to do? They already get enough of
I'm
shit,
on book, Tim. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I like it. What are you brewing with them?
My oatmeal stout.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. And then a Berliner Weiss.
You going to get a cut of that action?
I don't know. Just the experience will be enough.
You're so full of shit. You're like, I'm writing up the contract now. You want me to read over the contract for you? Make
please
sure.
do. I actually rather have Scott read it over. It's in his
That's
blood.
probably a good idea.
They just got a whole new brewing system, 15-barrel system, and their mash tun at the bottom is like star-shaped. It's real funky. I'm really stoked to brew on it.
Was that star-shaped? Like, did they ask for that? Because they're into design?
It's like a punch in the bottom of the actual mash tun kettle.
But there's a point to it?
Yeah, I don't, it was all via text.
It looks
I have no
cool.
idea.
Oh,
but
it's
it looks
probably a drainage
really cool.
thing or something. Yeah.
It's probably Chinese. It's probably what
Probably
it was.
the drain, right.
Northern Chinese.
It's all via... Are you sure they know it's you? They're texting? Maybe they think it's me.
It might be. Our names are very similar.
Have you spoken to them in person at all?
No, it's all via text and Snapchat and chat roulette.
And Vibe?
Yeah.
So you think JP...
We've been doing some vibes.
Do you send them little 6-second videos?
I should do a little vibe or two. A room, I think, is what it is.
I think you should do an interpretive, interpretation of your beer and send them, in lieu of a recipe, send them a 6-second vibe, and that they have to create the beer from that.
Yeah, like sensory imagery.
Yeah.
So you know the dad who smokes pot to want to be cool and down with his son?
Yeah, I know Tasty.
This is what you guys doing this vibe thing is. You're not relevant. You should stop.
It's not called a vibe.
It's not.
I don't know what it's called because I'm old and I've embraced it.
Right.
Wasn't it Vine?
It's like a Vone or it might be Vine. It might be Vine. I don't really know. I'm not familiar. But
is the company owned by MySpace?
No, it's owned by Twitter.
Oh,
it's owned by Twitter. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not even called a vibe. Yeah, no, it's Vine.
Is it Vine?
Vine.
Well,
so Bevo's right. This is what we are now.
I'll need to check my resources.
You're welcome.
I don't believe.
I'm glad I could drop a little knowledge on you.
I don't think you guys are telling me the truth.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks to Nick Arsner from Block 15. We'll be right back. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Where do you go for all the stuff you need to brew? Homebrewstuff.com, of course. In their Boise, Idaho storefront and warehouse, they have more than 750 craft beers and 8,000 square feet of homebrew products in stock. The staff at Homebrew Stuff are homebrewers themselves. They try out just about everything, including the beer, so they can answer your questions knowledgeably and correctly about brewing, kegging, and anything else you might need to ask. Don't live near the Homebrew Stuff store? Visit homebrewstuff.com online and take advantage of their $7.95 domestic shipping available on most orders. Homebrewstuff.com is a proud sponsor of the AHA, NHC, GABF, and countless other acronyms. So if you're a homebrewer looking for great people, a great selection, and great deals, head to homebrewstuff.com, online or in person. Visit their YouTube channel for loads of free how-to and product videos. All of the stuff you need to brew. homebrewstuff.com. Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, Santa OptiClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. When you hear Blickman Engineering, think innovation, passion, quality, and customer service. Blickman gear is designed by brewers to give you a sense of pride in your equipment. At Blickman, they know what makes brewing a pain and build gear that makes it fun. Like the intuitive beer gun, a completely different approach to filling bottles. The Therminator Wort Chiller, a new take on a plate chiller that's sized for flow, performance, and the high groundwater temps homebrewers face every day. The Brewmometer, a brilliant weldless thermometer design with brewing parameters right on the dial. The Autosparge, ultimate simplicity for preventing an overflow or running your mash tun dry. And much more, like the modular top-tier brewing stand, conical fermenters, and their Boilermaker brew pots. With more cutting-edge equipment coming soon, keep up with the latest from Blickman at blickmanengineering.com and stay on the cutting edge.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for any beer style. I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone certification program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
By popular vote from the Northwest Brewing News, HopTech has been voted the best homebrew shop in Northern California. Serving homebrewers for nearly 30 years in Dublin, California, HopTech carries more than 40 different kinds of hops and more than 60 different grains, malt extract, spices and sugars, hop oils and extracts. Open every day except Wednesday, or shop online anytime at hoptech.com or call 1-800-DRY-HOPS, 1-800-379-4677. With in-store classes almost every Saturday, huge selection and a dedicated commitment to their customers, HopTech is one of the longest running and passionate homebrew stores, period. And now, by popular vote, the best homebrew shop in Northern California. And don't forget their 15% military discount. HopTech. Visit today at hoptech.com.
Mix me your 100-grain amber recipe, and I'm going to eat it. And then it can ferment in my gut. It totally works. The beer is almost identical to the grain sandwich.
Your colon won't know what hit it.
The home of live beer radio. TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The Session.
888-401-BEER.
This is The Session.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks again to Nick Arsner from Block 15 Brewery and Restaurant there in Corvallis, Oregon. You can go to block15.com and check them out. Also wanted to thank him for giving us a great recipe. If you need a place to put your recipes and schedule your brew day, go to beersmith.com and get your free 21-day trial of the Beersmith brewing software. It's awesome software, very robust. It's available on both Mac and PC. It'll do everything you need it to do, and probably things you didn't even know you need to do.
Would you say it's the Bevo of brewing software?
I would say so, yeah.
Very robust. And she'll do the things that you don't even know you need.
Wow. She's not even here to yell at you for that one.
No, she's here. She just agrees completely.
Yeah, she's like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Sweet.
Beersmith. Go to beersmith.com. Get your free 21-day trial right now. All right, we do have a few more things to get to. And are we going to do this forum topic discussion thing?
Yeah.
This new segment of ours?
Would you enjoy to do it?
I would enjoy to maybe do it. I think I even have an intro for it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, basically what we did was we decided to introduce a new segment where we go back to posts in our forum. The Brewing Network has a forum, if you didn't know that.
What?
Yeah. Forums are this new thing. They're like right there with Vibes, I think.
What's it all about?
You go on.
It's not a vibe anymore. It's a vroom.
No.
That's what they're called.
Vine. It's a Vine.
Oh. The Vin?
Why am I correcting the social media guy and the host?
I don't know.
Because
I don't care
you're
enough.
young.
So
wow, talk with your mouth full much?
I was trying to disguise that.
Yeah, well, the mushy parts, you know.
Good work.
Yeah.
So what we thought we'd do is we go back into the forum and pick out some of the questions and topics that have come up, some that haven't gotten very good answers to for our listeners, and some that are just interesting topics in general. So we thought we would bring this new segment. Tasty, whose stainless steel growler is that, and why is it not mine?
Well, this is a growler from Rip Current Brewing Company in San Diego.
Okay.
Our good friend Paul Sangster passed it off to me today.
It's a nice growler.
It's great, and the beer is excellent inside. It's called Lupin and Lust IPA.
Oh, JP's going to love it.
I know.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me it was an IPA.
No, this is not
salty
a
dog.
Warhead. It is not a double-walled, last forever, keep cold kind of deal.
Sure. So it's nice and everything,
It's
but
nice.
it's not as
It's
good
smaller
as
because of that, of course.
Right.
I'll put a Warhead on the table just to make you feel better.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Nate.
Yeah, there we go.
It's confusing. It looks like Warhead competition, but it's only single walled. Come on.
Sure. So clearly there's no competition.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, cool.
come on.
Tastes good. Who wants to drink mine?
I would like to drink some. Is it? You don't want yours?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Have you blown any dudes in the last 24 hours?
48.
That's fine.
So you got the rule?
That's the rule. Yeah, don't share drinks.
Well, that bus ride was kind of
How about with
crazy
chicks?
from what I hear.
Right.
Oh no, I blew 48 dudes in the last 24 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just tasted
That
it. You
sounds
told
like
me. You told me one drink too late.
That sounds like a Steel Panther song.
I blew
48 dudes in the 24 hours, but you're next.
All right, let's try this new segment called Dead Threads.
Dude, it's time for some dead threads, man.
Do you have it in front of you, or do I need to read it?
I have
JP?
it in front of me.
What is our question today on the forum?
Well, explain what it is. Why is it a dead thread?
I think it's old and it didn't get many answers, and we thought we'd revitalize it with our knowledges.
Yeah, there's lots of threads in the forum that kind of someone asked a question
And,
and
it's just the crickets are going?
yeah, one half-ass answer or none, so this is us reviving it.
We're going to make a 6-second video of the answer when we're done.
I think they call it a vom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
This one's from Cody, and the subject is over extraction. Over extraction. So I'm increasing my skill at mashing, not to mention improving my beers, by using partial mash techniques. The beer I made last night is a pretty straightforward brown with Maris Otter, Munich, Melanoidin, and Dark Crystal malts, and Amarillo hops. I plan on fermenting with Yeast Trappist blend, followed by Brett C. I somehow managed to drastically overshoot my gravity, ending up at 1076 instead of 1056.
Did I write this?
You may have, Cody. My question is, how do I know if I have a problem on my hands? Well, you probably already answered that. I've heard there can be flavor issues when you get into the 90+% efficiency range. Once this is fermented out, could I be looking at flaws even though I can't taste them now?
Yeah.
All right. Experts?
First thing is when you overshoot your gravity, you already calculated in your bittering units to your gravity units, and that's how you're going to get your balance.
Yeah.
And when you overshoot your gravity, guess what?
Unbalanced.
Yeah, unbalanced because you don't have enough of the hops in there to balance that out. So
Okay.
that ratio, it might not be a bad beer, but you're not going to get what you want. That whole balance thing is going to be off. That's why hitting your numbers is good.
Important. Yeah.
What was the style he's brewing?
I don't think
It doesn't even matter.
A brown ale.
Oh, brown ale. Okay.
Yeah.
But from looking at it, it's probably an American brown. But yeah, you're going to want to have balance in it, and you overshoot, you're going to mess up all your calculations because your calculations are your IBUs, and you didn't adjust that.
Okay.
You've already boiled for X amount of time with this amount of hops, but now you are not going to be balanced.
So that's his first problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think of two things. Like one, his specific question about the efficiency. It could be a tannin issue in the final beer if he did get that much efficiency out of the grain, way more than he expected. Some issue could arise.
Is
in the
that
finish.
common, Nate, or is that like a rare thing that could happen if his efficiency is that high? Or is it pretty well known that if your efficiency is that high, you're going to
could have over extracted the grain, but
Okay.
not necessarily if he was watching the pH during the sparge.
Okay.
So, it sounds very unusual for him to get that much efficiency, which makes me
Or a big change
wonder.
like that. So it could be his measuring equipment, his hydrometer's off.
Yeah, all of mine are.
It could be that he screwed it up this time. He screwed up his measurements, whatever it was. But if he can do the same thing again and still have that high extraction rate,
Yeah.
then he knows that there's actually something wrong. Not just a mismeasurement.
Is it possible that science also hates him?
Like you? Like you?
Possible.
Yeah, is that a possible answer?
By virtue of listening to us,
Do you think, or no?
Well, there's a lot of variables, and if he only did this one time,
Yeah.
it might be something was messed up. But if he
Okay.
can do this every time on his system the same way, which is consistency, which we all preach,
Mm-hmm.
then he can tell what it is, and then he has to adjust at that point.
Okay.
But trying to adjust early on when you're not sure where this discrepancy even came from, you're trying to solve a problem when you don't even know the question.
Right.
There's almost no need to be this far off as well. You can always take This is one reason why I really like having a refractometer around. You can take a reading at the beginning of the boil.
Yeah.
You kind of know your boil off. You'll know where you're going to be. And you wouldn't be 20 points off. If you're 20 points off, then you know something is up. And you better
I
readjust.
disagree, Nathan. I feel like you can take readings the whole goddamn way through.
Right,
No, you're
that's true.
absolutely right.
Or you could take a refractor reading like 10 minutes before the boil is supposed to be done.
Okay.
Right? If you have like flame out hops you're going to add or hops you're going to add in the last 10 minutes, take a reading and say, am I almost at my correct gravity?
Okay.
If you're way off, say, okay, this is a time I can readjust before I start adding more hops into this.
Because if you're really low at that point, you need to boil more to get those numbers
Exactly.
back up.
Okay.
So you don't want to throw in your flame out because they're all going to boil away because you have to boil an extra half an hour.
Converse,
instead of 10
so if you
minutes.
find you're really high,
Like
I don't
he
know if I'd
was.
go adding water at that point, but
Why not? That was my
No,
question.
I
if he's
would.
high, why
Would you
wouldn't
not?
you just?
Yeah.
Why, why
Well,
not dilute
as long as you're going to boil for 15 minutes, I guess, then you're probably fine.
The other way to do it is add it in the fermenter.
Why did you sound?
So yeah, you can add it right then.
Yeah.
and because you have to put these late hops in. If you don't have to put the late hops, then you don't have to deal with it. But if you know you are already over
Yeah.
or at your point, you don't have any time to put the hops in and keep another 10 minutes or so, or you're way over. I would add it in.
Okay.
Get my number where I want it, and then add my flame out hops, and try to end on the numbers I want. If you screwed up and it's really bad, you can always boil water, get it clean, and then put it in the fermenter, and then you know how much to add in there to add it back up to your numbers. And Beersmith's good for that.
Yeah, Beersmith will give you how to get the ratios right.
Yeah, your dilution factor. It's you punch in what your gravity is.
Yep.
How many gallons you have, and what do you want your gravity to be, and it'll tell you exactly how much water to put in there.
This is my favorite segment. I think it's really going to help me out.
pretty good.
These are all things that I should have done myself.
You have to be able to go with the flow during that brew because it doesn't
Right.
always work out for you. And don't panic.
Yeah.
We all do it. Oh, it's not quite where it's going.
Yeah.
We know just to grab it.
You can guide the process in almost every step.
Guide it through.
I think I should take Xanax on my next brew day.
Oh.
I think maybe I would be able to go with the flow a little better.
I think you should take Xanax.
Period.
Xanax?
Xanax.
Xanax?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it.
It's Xanax.
But I think you should take
It
it.
is actually Xanax.
Make a 6-second video about it and send it to me with how to pronounce it.
I don't know how to
Would
do
you?
that.
Yeah, make of lime.
Thank you.
Can you make your own Xanax? You can make your own beer. Let's just make your own Xanax.
Yeah, you just-
Forget the brewing.
I would be happy to start the Xanax network.
Do it. You should run your head into the wall 5 times. Your body
there's
produces
forums for
Xanax.
that.
naturally.
Are there?
Yeah.
To make your own?
Oh yeah.
All right, that's your new segment, Dead Threads.
Dude, it's time for some dead threads, man. Yeah.
I actually wasn't all the way done either.
Too bad. I was tired of listening to you. I'm tired of everything.
Well, the other thing is,
Oh, Jesus.
when you're at a high gravity, a real high gravity, and you don't pitch enough yeast, it's going to be an issue.
Okay.
That's the only other thing I can see with that over the gravity thing.
All right. Good answers, Doc. Perrin from Minnesota is on the line. He's got a question for us. Perrin, what's happening, man?
It's
Hey, Justin, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. What can we do for you?
Yeah, so I did a split batch Saison today, and I'm going to pitch the White Labs Saison 3 in one batch and the Cantillon Iris 2 in another batch. And I am just wondering, because I wanted to put some of the Brett from the Cantillon strain into the Saison 3. And I'm just kind of wondering, I got 2 starters going, of how much I should decant off into the Saison 3.
Anybody?
So you created a starter from the dregs of a bottle of Iris, and you have a starter of straight White Labs Saison Blend 3 in separate stir plates or separate starter containers, basically.
Yep.
Nathan's our interpreter.
Well, because I kind of...
No, I'm hungover as hell today, so I need to interpret this in my mind, actually. Yeah.
And the question then is, how much of it per batch? Is that... Do you dump into each one?
Yeah, I'm trying to... Well, I'm going to pitch most of the Iris into one, but I was trying to figure out, should I just, pour a little off from the starter into the Saison 3, or should the other option that I sort of was thinking about was to siphon off maybe in a day or two some of the, the wort or the beer from the what was going on in the other the Iris into the other batch.
You want a little bit of the Iris in each.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Tasty?
No, I would do the blend before you pitch. You're basically talking about top cropping from one batch to the other, right? As a possibility. I don't see any reason to do that unless you want to give one of the yeast the time to get going by itself. For instance, maybe the Saison yeast, you'd want to take it halfway to your gravity and then add the
and the Iris at that point.
Iris after that.
Yeah.
Right? Makes sense to me.
I think that's a great thing to do. Hey, that's supposed to be dead.
Just make sure
I love that one. That's great.
Just make sure you write down all the ratios that you're doing, so when it's not quite what you want, you can next time dial it in a little bit better. Because it gets a little bit dicey and uncontrollable when you're mixing yeast strains like that. If I put a quarter of this and 3/4 of that, you don't know how they're going to behave together. Throw them in the room and see what comes out. So just do what you're going to do and
document.
Make notes, because you're going to want to do it again probably.
Yes, I will.
All right, brother. Thanks for the phone call. Hope we helped.
All right, thanks, guys.
Cheers, man. All right, there we go.
Cool.
I didn't hear a word of any.
Do you think we helped him?
I have no idea. Did we just have a caller?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, actually,
hey, I want to talk about that 90% efficiency thing again.
You do?
No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck me.
Would that help?
Make it really complicated, Tasty, please.
Actually, when he was talking about the starters and this and that, I saw something shiny, and I didn't hear anything after that.
Right.
And I had to wait for Nate to redo that.
All of us, we're like a bunch of cripples in here right now. I can see Nate too. Like, he's trying really hard.
Man, the smoke is just coming off my head right now. Trying to think about that.
I think you just got a new gray hair trying to interpret that fucking
Definitely.
question. It was a good question. This is our fault, not yours, Perrin.
I think
Believe me.
at that point he's getting blonde back.
He might be going the other way.
Yeah, right.
That's true. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we got a little beer news for you, and I think that's about that.
Can you even handle the beer news
do the
today?
Twitter game. Oh, I'm all over. Are you kidding? I'm at the top of my game right now.
We still have to do Drunk of the Week.
We got to talk about this beer you poured us, too.
No, Doc, no.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients, and the best customer service in the business. Cut hours off your brewing sessions by using one of their 11 varieties of famous Williams malt extract. Their new Snap-Lock stainless steel cam-lock fittings will make connecting your pump or heat exchanger quick and easy. Or check out their exclusive paintball tank-based draft beer equipment. They even have their own line of precision hydrometers. Go to williamsbrewing.com to browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way. Did you know the Brewing Network's very own Code Right and Fool's son, Ryan Wolf, has opened a beer mecca in Missouri? The Wolfbrow House of Beer has hundreds of beers from all over the world and is conveniently close to I-70 in St. Peter's. Free tastings Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m. featuring special guests from local breweries. The best build-your-own six-pack around with every style represented. And kegged craft beer available for your kegerator too. There's always something new at the Wolfbrow House of Beer. New and hard-to-find beer every week. No two visits are the same, just like passing out at the Rat Pad.
Hi, this is Ryan from Wolfbrow House of Beer. Mention the Brewing Network when you stop in for some cool free stuff. Mention JP for a swift kick in the ass.
The Wolfbrow House of Beer. Beer with personal service from a member of the BN Army.
This is Code. Visit my son's shop or I'll yank the BN website down.
www.wolfbrow.com. Here's a bite for beer lovers. Soft caramel made with real craft brew and coated in chocolate. And hop drops, hard candies made with real hop oil. Introducing Beer Candy from beercandy.com. Beer Candy's amazing caramels come in 4 mouth-watering flavors. IPA, bitter gold, wrapped in smooth white chocolate. Lager, made with a familiar beer from Boston and coated in milk chocolate. Lambic, soury Belgian goodness full of fresh raspberry and dipped in dark chocolate. And Stout, roasty cocoa chocolate insanity. Hop drops are made with Fuggles or Cascade hops and are known as the candy that bites you back. Choose from sampler and full sizes of both and make your mouth jump to life. All at beercandy.com. Hop drops and beer caramels. Satisfy your sweet tooth as only a beer lover could with Beer Candy. Visit beercandy.com today.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, I mean, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we
first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls.
Marquis, stop. Look.
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome!
The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
Yeah. I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
you're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck.
all right.
just a couple of things left to do. We gotta educate ourselves about what's happening in the beer news world. Always beer news going on.
There's a lot of news and there's a lot of beer. Combine them, you have a good segment for the homebrew.
Even if it's
radio
not
show.
news, you guys are going to put it out there.
You know, I made the mistake of checking my email at the break.
Why would you do that?
JP. JP sent me a link.
Yeah, you like that?
To a goddamn homebrew shop with my logo, and not only that, but the name Hand Grenades is in the name of the homebrew shop.
Yep.
So it's not going to be an easy like, hey guys, you should have fucking Google searched before you named and logoed your place and realized that it's a trademark. Now I got to call these people. And I got to do the whole thing. Hi, my name's Justin. I run a little company called the Brewing Network.
Oh, yeah, we listen to you all the time.
Oh, then maybe you know. They have no idea. It always goes like that. Oh, yeah, the Brewing Network, huh? Yeah. And anyhow, our logo is a hop grenade. Oh, that's funny. So is ours.
Logo.
Yeah, I know.
You took our logo.
Well,
and the horn comes out.
If you notice, also on the logo, it has the two mash pedals, which is our new design now.
Great.
Crossed behind it. So.
Well, I didn't trademark that, so they can have that.
Well, that's not the point. The point is that they are either too stupid that we can do this.
Yeah.
Or they're going to do it until somebody says something.
It's ridiculous. And isn't it Brendan who came in here and said, like, why don't people do a fucking Google search before they name their play? It just doesn't.
Google image search your logo before you use it.
It drives me nuts because now I have to take time out of my day to call these people, and I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to use the telephone anymore. Who uses the telephone?
Can we record the call and put it on the show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so stupid.
You should do it in 6 seconds and send them a Vinny or whatever it is.
By the way,
the call is the same every time. It's so stupid. It's exactly like I just said. It's hi. So I have this company.
Well, first of all, stop sounding like a dude.
Yeah, why do you have to sound like a fairy?
Well, I have your answer here.
Yeah.
They feel sorry for him.
First off, they wouldn't do a Google search because they already knew they stole it.
Right.
And the other thing is have Moscow do it.
You want to do this one for me, Moscow? No, because then here's the thing.
You don't want to do that.
It's because I always try to make it not a battle.
Well,
that's why I don't even send our lawyer. I do it first because I feel like I don't want to be the guy.
Well, if Moscow does it, it's not a personal thing.
Right.
To him, it's just, this is the way it's got to be. It's business. You're personally hurt because of this.
I'm hurt.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad.
And Moscow, it's just business. Look,
Right.
you can't do that. We're asking nice. Take it out of your window.
But it's also, it's their name of their place, so it's going to be like, oh, now we have to change our name. And I mean, I know that's not my fault, but
well, why they name it that way?
Oh, they got a sign out from with a hop grenade on it and stuff.
To your point, to Google search, and I'm sitting here going, well, what would they search? They just need a hop grenade. I mean, yeah, but what if they're too dumb or don't know how to do a proper? So if you type in the word hop cone with grenade and then go to images in Google, the first thing that comes up is the Be an Army T-shirt.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's the first thing that comes up. It's the first thing.
Of course it is. I can't take it. These people are insane.
They should have JP call and do that whole thing. Did you even try?
What are they doing?
Are you dumb? How IQ deficient are you? What are you on fucking dogpile.com trying to image search some shit? What are you doing?
Justin, can you zoom in on that?
What? On the logo?
Yeah, in the window. I see the picture in the window. I want to see if they just took one of our T-shirts and folded it up and pasted it in the window.
Yeah, this is our new logo. They might have. I don't know. It sucks. It sucks. Maybe I should just not. Maybe I should just let it go. Everybody can use the fucking hop grenade. Make my life easier.
I think you should. I think that's the only way to go.
I hope they didn't pay a lot for that rendition of the hop grenade.
It's a shitty rendition, also.
And where is this place? What country?
It's in New York. It's here.
That's
the thing. There's a brewery in Canada who has my hop grenade on their beer, but there's really nothing I could do about it because the trademark really only works.
What about the guys in Chile?
U.S.? Those people too.
The South American dudes.
Can't do anything about that.
They're selling T-shirts with their hop grenade on it.
That infuriates me.
Do you let him keep it? Can you at least get some money for it?
This shop?
Yeah, like you can use it, but you need to give me X amount.
Yeah,
they'll be like, we can send you a sack of grain.
We'll license it. Yeah, exactly. It's a homebrew shop.
Then you can brew shitty beer.
Right. drives me insane.
Even the international folks, do you even contact them, or do you kind of give up?
I don't, because I there's nothing I can do about it.
No, but they might be cool. They may not legitimately know because they're typing in French or whatever.
But they also might just...
Sounds like JP wants to call him.
but
with their
You can
French.
do it. You want to take this on?
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Say,
JP will be like, suck a dick.
You have to do it like this. Hi.
No, hi, guys.
My name's JP.
I can speak their language. I'll be like, look, I'll fly up. We'll get a donair. We'll get some Canadian bacon. It'll be good.
Right.
We'll get some smokes, some pepperoni. It'll be fine.
Maybe I should just let the lawyer deal with this one. This homebrew shop.
I would. Well,
this
especially
homebrew shop who doesn't know what Google is.
Well, especially if you're going to sound like,
hi guys.
Oh God.
I'm sure, and I always do this too. I don't even know why I give them the benefit of the doubt, but I always go, I'm sure it was a misunderstanding that your logo looks identical to mine. But I'm here to let you know that I have a trademark on that, and is there something we could work out?
Oh, call him with a New York accent.
Oh no! Hey, that's all I do. Hey, hey, guys, huh? Whoa, I'm trying to talk to you here.
See, you can't. No, actually, they're going to tell you, no, I ain't no mistake.
Yeah.
We did it on purpose.
No, we lifted it.
We figured, you wouldn't see it for a couple, 2-3 months.
I was just going to say, I went to a homebrew shop right outside of Forks, Crap Hole, Washington.
Yeah. Why were you there?
Don't judge me. And
did they have my logo?
They didn't have your logo, but they did know who you were. So I find it highly unlikely that this place, as a homebrew shop, doesn't know who you are.
I know.
Also, doesn't have people buying things from there who know who you are.
I know, but they all pretend. Every one of them, every human I've ever contacted with my logo, they all go, oh, who knew? Google knows. That's who knew.
I bet in that shop they've got a cardboard cutout of you and it said Justin was here.
Right.
That's why they have the logo in the window.
Cardboard cutout, and they pasted their hop grenade over his on his T-shirt.
Yeah, you can't handle this over the phone. We have to take the BNJ and go there.
Yeah. I just want to punch.
Good.
I just want to punch myself in the face. That's how it makes me feel.
Just do it.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's the result, but it makes me feel like punching myself in the face.
That's why you shouldn't handle this.
That's right. All right, maybe should I just have the lawyer handle this one?
The only
but then it gets all lawyery.
Exactly.
Well, that's why you can have the producer do it.
Yeah, try to do it.
Sorry,
then it's going to be all Jewy. He's going to call and you're going to go, hey, oh, huh?
Every minute is Henry Winkler.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
All right, go ahead.
Every minute you have this logo in your window, it's costing us money.
It is. It's costing me.
I want it down now.
I just lost a year of my life thanks to this email, JP.
Well, it had nothing to do with last night.
Right,
yeah, you get to bed early.
I'm going to take this website down so I don't have to look at it.
I like the bike in front. Just like chained to that post.
Stupid, yeah. I bet they stole that too.
No, Steve-O did. It's fine.
And what happens is sometimes I call and it's like it's a home brewer who started some company who's like a veteran, and then great. So now I'm the asshole who's calling some poor veteran and saying you can't use the hop grenade.
Well,
who's the asshole then? I am.
Yeah.
You never win with this.
Well, you could start with you shouldn't be doing that.
The camera's ready to punch yourself in the face. So just go ahead and feel free.
I don't really want to do it. I just feel like that.
I bet you feel like you've already punched yourself.
I punch like a girl anyway. I do feel like it already.
Well, then it shouldn't hurt so bad if you punch like a girl.
That's true. All right, we have to do some beer news.
Can we do feedback again?
Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
Fuck it.
It's the Brewing Network's Beer News, brought to you by Rodall Performance.
Yeah, new sponsor.
Who's
Same
that?
story.
Why did I just get a boner?
Who's that chick?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's a sexy VO.
Hey,
can we listen to that again?
Yeah, we perked up there.
It's the Brewing Network's Beer News, brought to you by Rodall Performance.
Yeah,
I think I've heard that voice on Chat Roulette.
Thank you to our new sponsor, Rodall Performance, for bringing the beer news to you. What do we got?
Yeah, well, we got a new sponsor, but a familiar story, and it's apropos based on our conversation a second ago. It's another packaging logo similarity battle.
Great.
Legally. Mm-hmm. This time it's Flying Dog and AB InBev.
Flying Dog.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Flying Dog, it's a weird one, right? Because Flying Dog, if you remember, it's the iconic branding of the Ralph Steadman illustrations, the guy who did Hunter S. Thompson stuff, right?
Those labels are just so out of this world.
Yeah, and they're completely unique.
Yeah, they are. They're surrealistic and sort of splattery and weird and unique. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, what happened is the beers in question it's called Wild Blue, and then there's Rascals Wild Red, and then there's Shadows Wild Black. They're 3 fruit-infused lagers, and they have canine mascots, and they're adorned with scribbly artwork, and it's very evocative of Stedman style. I sent the picture in the email. You can see for yourself. It's really evocative of the Flying Dog brand, and we've talked about this before, and JP says, well, people, they're not as casual as you think, that you'd have to be an idiot to kind of mistake. Well, here's a quote from a blogger, that's a profession now, I guess, Alex Meyer. I thought it was Flying Dog, she said. I was excited to see one of their brews mix in with the singles, as I hadn't before, and I didn't read the packaging closely. I just grabbed it and moved on. I only figured out it wasn't Flying Dog when I Googled the beer to write a review about it for the blog, and I felt tricked. The packaging was much too similar to Flying Dog's to have not been done on purpose. What do you think?
Well, I'm looking at the 2 labels, and I don't think that the images are similar.
Can you full screen that so I can see it?
I don't know how to do that.
Just double click on it.
I don't think that's going to work.
No, it's not going to work for that one. Doesn't look like.
The font is very similar.
Yeah.
And the kind of way that they've made the whole, even the color scheme.
Yeah, the color scheme's a lot alike.
But the image itself, what is it, like a little dog or something?
Yeah, it's like a red
And the
dog.
bottles.
And then, of course, Raging Bitch from Flying Dog also has a dog on it. But that dog is pretty,
sketchy.
It's all gnarly and
all
sketched
sketchy,
out. Yeah, it's
isn't it?
like Doc's high school, like college friends. What that dog looks like. But their dog is just sort of cute, and but the overall feeling of the 2 logos is very similar.
Yeah, it's very evocative.
And I could see grabbing it off the shelf in a pinch. You just grabbing it, thinking that it's a Flying Dog. I could see that happen.
Who's going to fight?
What
who?
did AB say about it?
Well, now AB got almost like aggressive, for lack of a better term, and they issued a statement, and the statement says, quote, to suggest that there is any consumer confusion between Wild Blueberry Lager and Flying Dog is a very great stretch of the imagination. Comparing the whimsical blueberry kicking dog on the Wild Blue label to any of the gothic canines found on Flying Dog is like comparing Da Vinci's Mona Lisa to a Picasso portrait.
Yeah,
they may portray
AB.
a similar subject, but stylistically there is no confusing the difference, end quote.
Oh, that was the promo guy, not the lawyer saying that.
That's an official statement.
Of course it is, but he
The lawyer
he
signed
waxed
off.
the legs fantastic with that one.
I don't think the dog is whimsical either.
Well,
I think whimsical is stupid.
One more even crazier point is, and this is alleged, but according to the article I pulled this from, Flying Dog has been told by a few of their retailers that AB sales reps specifically ask for the beers to be placed next to Flying Dog on the shelf. Flying Dog acknowledges that it's possible that it's just a rep maybe trying to hit their sales numbers, and it's not corporate policy.
Right.
But they say the tactic proves the similarity between the brands.
Well, so I'm looking at the 2 bottles next to each other, but I also have an image here of the 6-packs on the shelves next to each other, and it's pretty. I mean, it's kind of similar.
You think it was another kind of Flying Dog, and I've had that one. I'm going to grab the new one.
The thing is, I mean, Flying Dog, I don't think is really going to have a leg to stand on because it's clearly not Stedman art. And I don't know that you can trademark. The font isn't identical; it's just similar. I'm not sure they're going to have much of a case.
Legally, I agree with you. What about morally?
Okay.
Yeah, you got that. Oh, can you place that next to that?
So morally, InBev should step up to the plate here and do the right thing. Is that what you're insisting, Moscow?
No, I'm not. Maybe it's not the right thing. Maybe they're right, and it's not that evocative.
Right.
And, it's only alleged. We didn't ask for it to be placed next to it on the shelf. It's just its own brand, and the similarity is in the eye of the beholder.
Did I tell you about that homebrew shop that has my... did we talk about that yet?
Well, those are different things. We have a hop, or we have a grenade, artichoke grenade. They have a hop grenade. It's very, very different.
Yeah, they're very different.
Yeah, theirs is on the left, ours is on the right.
This is one that I actually agree with. I think that this lawsuit should have happened.
Yeah, me too.
While the only reason I know it's very clearly not Stedman art, at least the lettering, the dog obviously not, but because I know he wouldn't. I don't think legally he can even do that. I don't think you can. Basically, it's like doing a commercial. You can't do two commercials for the same type of brand, so he couldn't do two artworks for the same beer, or at least he wouldn't, I imagine.
Well, it would,
but that's the only. But to me, I mean, it's very, very similar. It even has the ink splatter dots all over the place. So I would totally be confused by that.
Yeah, it's confusing on the shelf.
I'm pretty stupid anyway, but I feel like I'm the average beer consumer, just a complete idiot.
How many Flying Dog consumers actually know it's Stedman? At that art kind of thing, they just think it's freaky, weird looking stuff on the label.
Yeah, they don't know.
And if you know who it is, you're going to know who it is.
And you're just going to walk by and grab it. You're going to go, oh, it's a new beer from Flying Dog.
It's a new Flying Dog beer. It's right next to it.
I don't know.
The six packs look very similar.
It's all a mess. All this trademark bullshit.
Yeah,
the more breweries and the more things that come on the marketplace, and the more people there are to be confused by them.
Yeah,
or whatever is going to happen.
If you could piggyback on something,
sound like me,
and boost something 10% just by piggybacking,
right? Oh, it's a common marketing practice.
Set us next to you.
Yeah, like Honey-O's in the supermarket, right? It's right next to Honey Nut Cheerios, but it's Honey-O's.
So it comes down to, was this an accident or was this kind of on purpose?
It seems
deliberate.
Almost impossible. That
it's got to be deliberate.
And so that's where you get into that moral thing.
Yeah.
Yes, we can probably do it legally because you're splitting hairs. But
but it was clearly deliberate.
Well,
that's why
I don't know. Yeah. People tell me it's an accident all the time. They go, oh, the Brewing Network. I haven't heard of it.
You know what?
It's probably an accident.
Well,
coincidence.
Maybe. I mean, there's 300,000 home brewers. I mean,
I think Flying Dog should call them and go, hi.
You should make that call for them.
Hey guys, it's Justin over at Flying Dog. Maybe you've heard of us, Stedman. Anyway, your little whimsical fucking dog on the package looks exactly like Raging Bitch. All right, I'll stop there.
Well, why?
It's about to get very expensive.
Please respond to this voicemail as soon as you can.
I feel like I'm going to cry now. I feel like I'm getting emotional.
You know the term Jewish lightning?
I don't know. I've never heard that one. It's a new one.
What is that?
Place kind of burns down for no reason.
Oh, no.
Oh, faulty wiring in the ceiling and insurance.
It was an accident. It's called Jewish lightning.
Otherwise known as crystal nuts.
I think my method
that's different.
Fine.
Oh, okay.
That was different.
Hi, this is Ralph
It's when you burn down your own place.
I was just wondering if you could not draw a whimsical dog anymore.
Before I die. Thank you.
All right, what else do we have?
Sierra Nevada's annual estate ale has had some issues this year. I don't know if you guys heard. So for those that aren't familiar, Sierra releases their estate ale in the fall. It's brewed with ingredients grown on the grounds at the brewery or right nearby. This year, though, the barley crop bit the dust, and the buyers at Sierra had to improvise and will purchase the raw ingredients from another organic source. And so this year's beer has been dubbed Dev Estate. And it's a black IPA, if that wasn't bad.
Oh,
hi, this is Ken Grossman. I was wondering if we could get some organic barley.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like all the, what are they called? The goats, man. Totally just ate everything, man.
What happened to the crop?
We're oversourced. So maybe next year,
if you come and ride your bike to pick it up, because we don't really go for all the transportation.
And we don't really know you.
What's your sign?
Yes, Bevo.
I was just trying to let him know there was a phone call.
I see. Yeah.
Thanks for the acknowledgement.
So here's what happened to the crop. Grower Lau Ackerman said the barley crop went flat because, quote, California's droughts finally got us. The hops in the yard did fine, but the barley took a beating, so we had to call in the barley backup team. Not many folks grow organic barley like we do here in Chico, so we were concerned. Mighty tasty beer, though. Enjoy this pinch hit wonder while you can. Basically, what happened is
the dude that was supposed to water it fucked up.
Hey guys,
God.
This is Lau. I forgot to water the 30 acres of barley.
I'm on vacation right now. Could you?
I've been gone for a week. I think it might be a problem.
Well, I don't know if it really was Lau Ackerman, the grower's fault. He's a combination, he says, of wind and rain in January, followed by no rain, made the barley unusable because it contained about twice the amount of protein of beer brewing barley and not enough sugar. So they just used, basically, it became dairy cow feed.
It makes it chewy and gluey and all that stuff.
Yeah, so we can look forward to a phenomenal Cascadian dark ale.
Well, in all honesty, I'm glad that they're owning up to it because it's an estate ale and they sort of market it as all being grown there. So I'm happy that they're not just lying to us.
I'm sure the word would have gotten out eventually anyway, though. Well, I mean, you can't hide that.
Well, with those
Did you say they're not being cool? They just had no choice?
They had no choice. Of course they didn't.
Well, with those lab numbers about the protein being really high and the sugar content being, they can't sell. You couldn't sell because they all look at that, all these numbers.
Yeah.
You still could have brewed their own beer on it.
That's what they were talking about, brewing their own beer.
Yeah, well, no, with that barley instead of having to outsource it.
But they didn't. They said they couldn't. You saying they could?
No, if you were a barley grower, if you're a barley grower and a malt grower, those numbers come up.
We talking about trademark law?
No, we're talking about lab numbers and all the high protein. They couldn't have sold it. Because if you're a barley guy, you couldn't have sold it to somebody because, I don't want that. It's got too high a protein.
All right. I'm confused. What's next?
But it's usable.
I can't take it.
Well, they could have.
I can't take it, Doc. I can't. You're making my head spin around on my neck.
You're bitching about this at 4 a.m, too.
I was?
Just finish your idea.
I was telling you I couldn't take it at 4
a.m. You're flat on your back, and you're like got a beer in your hand. I'm standing up, and I say, I don't want to go to bed. And you're saying,
Doc's left ball in your mouth.
I can't take it anymore.
Get the other one in, and you can go to bed.
And Nate was trying to stay up with us, and his head was bobbing.
Oh man, I wasn't going to make it.
What's next?
Well, here's some good news. Joaquin Alcaraz Garcia has claimed the title of Spain's beer drinking champion. The bad news is that he's dead.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that's sad.
45-year-old Garcia. He died after he consumed 6 liters of beer, which is about 12.5 pints, in 20 minutes. According to local reports, Garcia won the drinking festival's top prize and hoisted his trophy into the air. But then the event took a tragic turn just a few minutes later when Garcia began to vomit and didn't stop. At the time, witnesses called emergency services, believing Garcia was suffering from alcohol poisoning, naturally. Seated in a chair, Garcia was held upright by bystanders as they waited for medical personnel, and he appeared to be nodding off. But by the time the medical team arrived, he was in cardiac arrest, rushed to the hospital, passed away shortly after.
Yeah.
I think I drank that much last night in about 20 minutes.
Well,
I'm fine. That guy's a pussy.
Well, you're not Spanish.
You could get water intoxication because you take too much water in too fast.
Yeah, there was like a frat house that was doing that with their pledges because the beer was you can't do beer, so they made him drink water, and a kid died.
Yeah, because our blood can't take it, and we dilute it too fast, and it messes with your brain chemistry.
Did you get real high first before you die, though?
No, you just get, like you said, really naughty and sleepy, and it's not. There's no quick remedy to it, and you think, it's only water, and you drink a gallon of water in like 5 minutes,
and you die.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
I don't have a lot of sympathy for this guy because I feel like he's going for something that he shouldn't be doing, and then he died because of it. And I think the world is a better place now.
You'd think. This reminded me of you guys know the Darwin Awards. They
for
stupidity.
You died because of stupidity.
Yeah, and many years ago, it was a man who won a drinking contest in Mexico. It was tequila shots. He took like 50-something shots and he died. But the best part was another Darwin Award winner from that year was the guy who finished runner-up in that contest with like 44 shots. And
he lived?
You lost and you died.
Wow.
A bad day.
And you died.
I like that it happened right there. Like he's hoisting up his trophy and he just fucking dies.
The second place guy is holding up the trophy because the first guy died.
Right. He's now there's a new sheriff in town.
All right. There's one last story. This is barely news. I just included it because it's weird and cool. It's a house in Houston. It's built out of beer cans.
Houston.
The owner's name was John Milkovich. He was like a hoarder. He never threw anything away, and he kept all of his beer cans up in the attic. He would drink like a 6-pack every afternoon with his wife. And in the 70s, when aluminum siding on houses was all the rage, this guy lugged all of his beer cans down from the attic, cut open and flattened each one, and then basically just started wallpapering his house.
What an asshole.
Super weirdo. He died in the mid-'80s. His wife continued to live there and kept it up, and then she died in the mid-'90s, and it's now a public. It's like a museum.
Of course it is.
Some nonprofit bought it and restored it, and meanwhile the neighborhood around it has totally gentrified, and it's like sandwiched in between like high-rise condos.
Yeah, it's part of American history. Don't tear it down.
It's like the Watts
We're so
Towers.
stupid. The things that we like are stupid. Has anybody noticed that? We're stupid. Hey, look, it's historical. Some fucking jackass saved a bunch of Coors Light cans and lined his house with it. Don't tear it down.
Well, to be fair to him, it was Budweiser and Texas Pride.
We're so dumb.
Well, it looks like he drank a lot of it.
He looks like Tasty without a beard. I see his photo here.
I like the striped shirt. It's thinning.
Hey, I got an idea.
them
Let's take
down.
all those beer cans I've been saving and line my house with it. It'll become a historical monument.
I would have gone over as his neighbor at night and peeled it off the siding. That's fucking fuck you. I'm trying to sell my house eventually, asshole.
And everybody, yeah, exactly. And they're all dead now, and they're still keeping the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's important to the community.
I would have challenged him to drink 12 pints in 20 minutes.
Here you go. I'll buy it.
But what
Jerk
if you
off.
want to? What if you want to do that to your house? Would his lawyers call you and say, "Hey,
Hi, this is the fat guy who lined his house with beer cans.
And he's also dead.
we see you've been doing it too"?
The number is about 50,000 cans, so they say he collected a 6-pack daily for 20 years.
So he was a freak and a hoarder, and we're celebrating his fucking stupid bad
real
habit.
shut-in weirdo.
His creepiness.
Probably a little bit of an alcoholic too.
Right, do you think?
Yeah.
Bevo?
Just gonna throw that out
Well,
there.
he's
6
not,
a day?
He's not fat. That's just his liver.
Oh yeah, he's just swollen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
you can't make all those enzymes without a big liver.
Every single day for 20 years, yes.
Hey, make sure when you go to Houston, you see the house made out of beer cans.
Well,
It's part of our history.
Justin,
We should go to Houston on our way to
it's
Alabama.
exactly. It's on the way to Alabama.
Right, through Corvallis.
That's perfect.
By way of Corvallis, we're in Houston now.
Hey, have you seen the beer can house? It's so beautiful.
The way the light just glimmers off of it, it's like we're living in Christmas year round.
It's weird. It doesn't even smell like beer anymore. It's amazing.
It has to look pretty crappy too. Like you've seen those old aluminum cans on the side of the road that's
Yeah,
all
all
oxidized
rusted,
and
yeah.
gross. Yeah.
We're so stupid.
What nonprofit bought it?
I'm tired of us.
Yes, the nonprofit is called Orange Show Center for Visionary Art.
They should kill themselves.
What kind of people you think run that place?
Lady Gaga.
Stop donating to them, people. They're dumb.
Yeah.
Save it.
Hey, Terrence.
Make a school or something.
Right. Think of
Nice
how
glasses.
many places in the nation, much less their neighborhood, could have used that money. But instead it went to a house made of beer cans. Fucking the Center for increasing the lifespan of white trash art is what that should be renamed as.
It's a state monument, JP. It's very important.
Jesus.
And they restored it like they give tours inside.
Yes, correct.
Well,
Of what? What's the inside look like?
So here's
died of liver cancer.
Here's where he used to jerk off to child porn. And over here...
This is John Wayne Gacy
That was
yeah,
awful.
imitation.
Yeah, over here is where he used to tie down the women.
And in the bathroom is where he used to skin live cats and wear them on his head to block out the transmission.
All right.
Okay, how about the lady that had to head up the whole thing to save this thing? She's got to do the
petition.
the phone campaign.
Save the beer can house.
That's what we're doing today.
It's a piece of Americana.
Wait,
All right.
is it-
Yeah.
it's
Let's
made
get out of
beer?
here.
Before my beautiful new sponsor pulls the sponsorship, that's the news brought to you by Rodall Performance Beer Companion Products, hand fabricated in the US of A. Beautiful, durable, rodallperformance.com.
All right, beautiful. Thanks for sponsoring us. Let's go to the phones. We've got Crazy Two Knobs on the phone. He's got a question for us. Crazy, what's happening?
I want to know what that means.
Crazy, what's up, buddy?
Hey. I actually have a brewing question.
All right, what do you got?
I don't know if it was Tasty or Doc that was talking about adding water to the grain before milling so that it softens the husk.
It's been everybody.
That wasn't
in the history
tonight,
of brewing.
but yeah.
Okay.
Everybody. Yeah, but I just don't know how much.
Oh, okay. Good question. So how much water to the grain before...
I remember talking to Jeremy Marshall about this last night for like hours, it seemed like.
Yeah.
He was going on and on about it.
Well, it
was probably like 5 minutes.
He
when you were
actually was
high.
able to. What was it? 0.1% by weight or something?
Yeah, you want to add 1% by weight is what he was.
Was it 0.1
what he was
or
saying
1%?
yesterday.
1%.
You want to basically you want to moisten
So
it.
a pound of grain, a pound of water, I guess.
And these guys are as it's coming in the silo. They actually hydrate it at that point.
Yeah.
As it's coming through the silo. Yeah, on the screw they hydrate it
Right,
at that
before
point.
it goes to the auger.
Yeah, before it goes to the auger, and then it goes in. So it's kind of pre-moistening.
So just a little bit.
It's moist.
The whole idea is to soften up the husk.
Okay.
So it doesn't break apart and you get better lautering.
Okay. All right, there you go. Let's go to Scotty. Scotty, what's happening, buddy? Scotty in Fresno.
Yes.
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's up, Chief? Hey, I was just calling to see if I can get some tips on how to make like an awesome saison, because I'm in this home brew club competition, and I'm in second place right now. It's like 4 competitions throughout the year, and whoever has the most points wins Home Brewer of the Year. And I need to beat this other guy by 8 points, and I've already made 2 saisons, and they were undrinkable. They fucking suck.
Well, stop making them.
Well,
he's got to. You got to get the points.
Just sneak into his house at night and kill him.
Let's go to Nathan for this one. How about some saison tips?
Well, first of all, you have to brew a saison to compete at the next.
It is.
It's saison only.
Okay, there's 4 competitions throughout the year, right? And the 4th and final one is a saison. And I scored in the points in the dry stout.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, don't mind us. Go ahead. You're doing fine. We're being dickheads.
Oh yeah, I scored enough points in the dry stout to hold my second place. But the guy who's in first, he's like way ahead of everybody else, right? He's got 8-point lead on me.
All right. So then the short answer, Nathan.
Yeah, so
thanks for making my life difficult.
Sure,
yes,
no
he has to brew a fucking saison.
So keep it simple, actually. Saison, 100% Pilsner malt. Use the DuPont strain, WLP 565. Pitch in the high 60s. Let it rise into the mid 70s and hold it there. Target about 30 IBUs or so. Stick with Noble hops, and target probably about 5 to 6% alcohol. And that yeast likes extra oxygenation before you pitch, so keep that in mind. Do about double what you do normally. And
multiple steps in the oxygenation.
That could help too, potentially, yeah. That yeast has trouble finishing, it has trouble attenuating, so you might want to keep track of that. And if it conks out, you might want to add another yeast, 2/3 of the way through ferment or something. But if you treat it well and oxygenate highly, do a nice big active starter, should be in good shape.
There you go. Thanks, Scotty. Good answer, Nate. Very concise. I love it.
Good luck in the contest.
My brain hurts.
Also, there's a show, and if you look in our archives, a session show.
Okay. Well, still, sometimes you just want to be lazy like me and just get a quick answer.
Also, if you brewed 2 and they suck and you want to win, guess what? You're probably not going to win.
JP, that's a terrible way to look at it. He's doing the right thing. He brewed 2 and they suck, so he's like, I need help. You guys can help me. Give me
there's
some
a show
tips.
called Dr. Homebrew for that.
It sounds like you give great advice.
I don't give the
You'd be
advice.
Like, I got advice for you. Stop brewing, you shitbird.
Cut it out. Start baking bread. You'll be better at it, I'm sure.
I want to know the first place guy.
Yeah.
What's his wheelhouse? And
saisons?
Maybe not.
Right.
I
don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's not. So he shouldn't. It's a little more even keel on that one.
I liked when we just stopped with Nate's concise answer.
Moving on.
You keep doing that.
I did have something to add on that.
Tasty.
Great. What was our Twitter game? And let's find our Twitter finalists, and let's do a Twitter winner.
Well, our Twitter game was... sorry, now I was being a jerk. What the fuck was our Twitter game? It was Tasty won the lottery, and he bought an island, and everyone should name it. And we actually got some fairly funny ones this time. My close personal friend Jimmy Orkin says we should call it Weedland.
Weedland. All right.
Capital letters.
Brad Joyner says Jamaica.
Right. That's it already.
Jamaica too?
Yeah. Git wants to call it New Martinez.
I like that.
Yeah. Chad Zimmerman writes, the island of Wanna Touch Your Boobies. Brian Baumgart says, after all those wet and horny women get on there, it'll need to be called Water World.
That's disgusting.
Secret Lab writes, drmrpenisisland.com.
I think that one's taken.
And the last, but certainly not least, Dave Malone writes in, the island of poor decisions.
Very good.
Yeah. Tasty's like,
I feed off of those.
That would be a feature of my island, yes.
Welcome to Poor Decision Island.
Eat the Cookie Island.
Well, I like Jamaica.
I like Jamaica.
And Poor Decisions.
Yeah, I like both.
Those are the two that I like.
Not drmrpenisisland.com. Whatever that means.
That one's trademarked already, I'm sure
so?
of it.
Not Shitter
Google
Island?
it. I don't know.
Scott, I don't want this shit on my computer.
All right, let's just... Can we just vote on those two? Is that acceptable?
Yeah, so we'll take out Weedland and New Martinez and Island of I Want to Touch Your Boobies.
Correct.
And Waterworld. I kind of like Waterworld, but that's
I do like it, too.
How did he spell Jamaica?
That's disgusting.
Like with an apostrophe D? Like
Waterworld.
Did Jamaica?
What?
What?
Damn it, Doc.
Leave the terrible jokes to me.
I need another JP in the room. So what are our two?
I don't remember after that. That
Jamaica
washed my brain.
Poor Decisions.
Thank you.
And Waterworld.
Raise your hand if it's Jamaica.
Raise your hand if it's Poor Decisions.
What about Waterworld?
Poor Decisions wins. Raise your hand if it's Waterworld. Poor Decisions wins.
I voted for Waterworld.
All right, thanks to our guest today, Block 15. Nick was I thought he was awesome, and he gave us a lot of good information, and his beer is definitely awesome. So go check him out over at Block 15.
Yeah.
You know what next week is, Doc?
Not my birthday.
It's the Brewcaster Challenge finale.
Yeah. 1 week away?
Yes.
Oh,
So
I should probably brew then.
I'm going to be posting the link to all of the labels. We can do the label contest again.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure I've gotten them from everybody. I'm just really slow in uploading them. So look for that, Monday night or so.
Email's a little slow.
I forgot all about the label.
$600.
Gotta do that.
So,
you know why I forgot? It's because I'm such a champion at it. I'm so good at it. I don't even think about it.
Yeah, 1 out of 1 is a champion number.
Just flip that out. The last minute, it's going to be gold.
Oh, I'm going to win it again.
Can we have some Warren cider? Warren's here. And
Is that like
cider.
a game?
War Inside Her?
The new War Inside Her.
Yeah.
Well, then you have to go to Waterworld.
It's like Danielle Steele. It's like a yeast infection. A war inside her.
Peacetime is over.
Or are we out? We're trying to get out of here.
We're out.
All right.
Are we? Yeah.
Screw you, Beardy.
All right. Next week, we're doing the... by the way, Matt, thanks for being here or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being on the program and telling us all about your brew day and how awesome I am.
Matt Troutman. Matt Troutman was our winner of the IPA. Give him a microphone for 2 seconds just so we can
yeah. Now you're on the show.
Well, he got to go brew at Heretic on Friday. And how was the brew day? And did Beardy touch you?
I almost broke the brewery.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it a tough day?
Yes. After that, especially.
What'd you do wrong?
So they made me mill in a pallet of grain. That was fun.
Okay.
About halfway through, I realized the X-Acto knife was gone.
Oh. Uh-oh.
And then the mill stopped,
It did?
Stopped going.
Like, did it stop with a clunk and grind?
Warren has this face like,
that's why I'm
that
still
sucked.
here.
Beardy, have you done that before yourself? No. He says no.
Professional what?
Of course not. Okay.
He
so
would
you
lie,
almost,
too.
So you almost broke them. But what happened? Did it go through the mill?
Oh, no, there's like a nice little slide. I did recognize that before that it wasn't going to go through. So I figured, once it started going down.
So you turn off the mill before you stuck your hand down in there?
A little bit of both, yeah.
So is the Heretic Brew Day basically just doing everything that Beardy and Chris don't want to do?
Exactly.
That's what you did all day?
Yeah, that's right. I got to jump in the louder ton and everything and
clean
everything out. Yeah.
He threw you in there. I saw it.
Oh, that's how he described it to me on Friday night. I go, how was it brewing at Heretic?
Right. Just work. By the way, Beardy, they must not let you mill grain. That looks dangerous. You could get your face caught in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even the mill is on top of a little part of the building there.
Okay.
So you have to get into a lifter to get up there. And then once you're up there, they forklift up a pallet of grain. And Jamil's only advice was, don't trip. And then he said, I'll see you later.
And he just left you there.
Yep, that's right. He said, turn this knob on first, then the other one.
How long does it take? How long were you up there?
Oh, it had to be about 2 hours. It's over 2,000 pounds of grain.
And he didn't say, how do you get down?
He said, you can grab the truck. If there's an emergency, you just pull the handle.
By the way, if there's a fire while you're up there, just jump.
Or if you put, an X-Acto knife in the
right. That's an. So with the X-Acto knife thing, and once you realized it, and the mill stopped. How long were you there just waiting for someone to come find you? You couldn't start the mill again?
I think Jamil's sixth sense kind of came in because he just showed up right at the exact time as I was shutting down the mill. So,
was he pissed off? Or was
no, he said, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, he was pissed off.
Yeah. Jamil has a way of listening to when it's brewing.
Right.
He told me he's doing something. He can hear the pump cycle.
Oh, yeah.
And he knows that when he's got to go in there when the louder's done.
Wow.
But that's probably what happened when, that shouldn't have been shut off by now.
Yeah. That's funny.
And I only had, like 5 bags left, so it was right at the end. It was perfect timing.
And the rest of the day went okay?
Yeah, it was actually really, really great. Everyone was really friendly there. They told me whatever they needed. I did a lot of just, hey, wash this down. Okay.
Right.
No problem.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a great day there.
And then you brought your wife out for the BN weekend.
Yeah,
did any of our staff, Dr. Tasty, inappropriately touch her throughout the weekend?
Well, after last night, I don't know.
Well, she wasn't in my bed like everybody else was, so she was safe there at least.
I don't remember why, but she left early.
She did?
Well,
probably because of something you did.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why.
Right. Did you guys have a good time?
Oh man, this has been one of the best weekends I think I've ever had. So it's been fantastic. Yeah,
I'm glad.
The day going up to Russian River was great.
Who you calling it a day go?
Matt was trying to get it out of me what the surprise was.
Oh yeah,
for Saturday.
You guys didn't know? Did you really not know what we were doing?
We had some guesses, but we wondered why it was all a secret.
It was secret. And I go, you'll like it.
You didn't expect the stripper pole in the limo.
That's how we surprised, especially Schumann's lap dance.
Right,
that was a big surprise.
Well, you two clearly haven't been listening for very long. If the stripper pole was the surprise,
fair enough.
Again,
so will the
best
venereal
weekend of your
disease that
life
pops out.
after the Schumann lap dance.
Right.
Now all the mooks in the chat room are going crazy because Mrs. Mad just jumped into the screen.
Oh yeah.
So like, now everyone's like, "Who's a girl? A girl! I think our entire chat room has plastic covering their keyboard, so the drool doesn't prevent them from actually using it for whatever creepiness they do later on.
To be fair, I did the same thing at home.
Well, it was genuinely a pleasure to meet you both. I'm glad we got to do this. You've kind of set the bar high. I don't want to do the contest again because I'm worried we're going to get some douchey listener that we have to hang out with. You guys were a lot of fun.
I'm very willing to come back next year.
Okay, well, win it again. Will you win it every year for us, Matt? We like hanging out with you.
Yeah,
so.
not a problem.
I actually hung out with him in Philly.
Oh yeah.
We poured.
We sat down. Friday night. I recognized his face.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you were hammered.
Yeah,
Friday night
and at NET.
And at NET. But I remember, me and him closed Pro Brewer night.
Yeah,
it was a club night.
Pro
Brewer night.
Both.
And there's nobody in the place but us talking and sitting and drinking beer. And the security lady comes by and goes,
"You got to go.
Get out."
Right.
Yeah.
Well, win again, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, to make everyone in the chat room even more jealous, my wife works at a brewery, so we got to pour. We were lucky enough to pour for Pro Night.
Oh yeah,
and yeah. Doc came over at the very end and said, "What do you still have?"
Because I came back because it was that good.
Yeah. It's good beer. I had it too at NET,
and I didn't go back too many times to too many different things. This one I went back to.
You can plug it. What's the brewery name?
It's Urban Chestnut in St. Louis, Missouri. They distribute mostly in St. Louis, a little bit in Indianapolis. So
it's not like Herb and Chestnut, right? It's like Urban.
Yeah.
Hoppin' Chestnut.
Right.
So it's like Terrence.
Like Keith.
Like Urban.
The building is lined with aluminum beer cans. So beautiful. All right, I got to piss. Stop talking so much, Matt.
Yeah, you're not even standing yet.
I got to go real bad,
but when you stand up, I know you really got to.
This was a long segment. It was genuinely a pleasure to have you. Thank you guys for coming out and having some fun with us.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
You said generally a pleasure or genuinely?
It was generally okay, I guess.
Look at Doc trying to give someone elocution lessons. You have to enunciate Justin. Summit
Brewing's on the show next week, plus it's the Brewcaster Challenge final. Thanks to Matt and Ashley. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. Thanks to Block 15. And get us out of here, JP.
Oh, shit, I'm not even ready.
Oh, damn.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. For social commentary that doesn't matter at all, follow Major Jip on Twitter. Scott's on Twitter as well. If he's not counting his money by candlelight, follow him at Moscow Paints. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Push Eject. Tonight's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP was holding in farts all night. Your call screener and loud keyboard typer Bevo has been Bevo. And your hungover host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewery Network on Facebook and Twitter.